Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. Sean Driver here with Brendan. It's the watch along. It's the watch party. It is I don't even know what day of the week are we on. It's Wednesday. It's a New Year's Day. It's a new year, January 1, 2025, and I've lost track. It's a Wednesday. I had to double check that one. Here at Oakwell against Barnsley, and Brendan and I've been up for a while, so I've had an opportunity to go through a whole lot of the stuff with Brendan in the background. Didn't do the Who Are You, so we've got one previously. You can find that from just a month ago. Basically, if you want to watch that one, obviously 1-0, we took them down in the race course. The return fixture coming fast, and only a couple of changes, so I don't know where to start with on this one except to say hello to everybody as the chat is getting rolling. David's here. Wemo's checking in from California. We got the animations going. I just got told that there's a couple more surprises. Brendan working hard in the background to add all these new features. And I said to him before we get on, I get nervous every time he says, "Oh, I've got a new surprise for you," because I don't know what it is until I watch it on replay. So hope everybody has. Oh, there we go. Aaron's got a new nickname, Strange Realities. Welcome. Appreciate it. Nice to have you here, Aaron, and I'll try and remember the connection. And the Thunder Down Under, which I appreciate. That's got to be a rough start for down in Australia. I think it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning there in Sydney. Depends, I guess, on where you are. Lots to talk about. Do we start off with the roster? Do we start off with Andy's amazing work that he's putting into the Discord, which I should be adding into the chat? Is what I should.
I have. Well, as we transfer over, I have Welsh Techie's picture from Barnsley, just because I had to pick something, and that's what I had up ready to go.
And Dave's got panoramic. Dave awesome says he's got picks coming shortly. And for those that are interested, there's the Discord link so that you can follow along and see as people post. I'm going to pin that. As people post that to when they're away or at home when they're at the stadium. Where some people, I mean, you could set your setup if you wanted to show how you've got your game going and how you've got your lighting, your coffee, your drinks, your Clamato juice, whatever you've got around you. Feel free to send that over too as to how you're enjoying the game. Whatever it is. Or if you wanted to do work like Andy on something, feel free to jump that one in. If you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on Twitter, make your way over to YouTube. We've got the chat available there. Just remind you of that. And what you've got on is the picture from Welsh Techie, which looks glorious. I was just saying to Brendan while we were before, you look at the stadium 40 minutes, 30 minutes before the half, and it's got like 10% full. Completely a different experience, because I think in North America, because we're paying so much money for the tickets, like you soak it all in. Like you go for the warm-up. Like you go for the experience. But yeah, I can't say that, David. You can say that. Yorkshire looking grim as ever. Just down the road from sunny Donny. We'll see what happens with my trip and return. Thought Ogonko might be back. And my take on that, Aaron, is if he's not 100%, leave him out. Once he's 100, you put him back in. But I'm happy to go with where we're at. Any transfer window news? I know that Wickham already signed somebody. They sent the teaser out already. Do we really think, and Brendan, you can answer this question for everybody on their behalf. Hi, Sam. Do we really think that Parky is going to do anything early in the window? Like if I was a betting man, I know what I'd do.
I don't, but I think he should be, but I no.
Yeah, as we were talking about it last time, and I was like, I'd like to get something really before the middle of January when you got the Birmingham match and even the Shrewsbury Derby, all that sort of stuff. I'd like to get a player out there. He's not doing it. He's going to be waiting all the way through. And that includes trying to figure out I think that's just you, Thunder. Everybody else seems to be okay, but feel free to let me know if anybody else has an audio issue. I think we would have noticed it earlier. Just to continue with my thoughts there, we got to figure out the Sam Dalby situation. We've got to figure out, are we getting an experienced person? Where are we going for? And yeah, let's talk about the lineup. If you wanted to bring the roster up there and have a look at it, and we'll talk about ours and then we'll talk about theirs, because there's a couple of changes from the team that we saw and things that I'm curious about on their end. But do you have it up there, Brennan?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so Howard's on the bench, or starting. Ogonko on the bench. The back line, Cluworth is still in. EOC still there. Tom O'Connor drawing in for Brunt. And what's more interesting to me is Brunt's not even on the bench. Scar is the only person. So the questions that we had is, first off, is this just giving Brunt a day off? Did he take a knock in training? Is there a family emergency that he needed to attend to? Why is he off? Because I wouldn't say it's because of his play. There's been lots of people screaming that he's been man of the match and one of the top, if not the best player on the pitch for some of the games. I will give Brendan, you brought this up. I think you're correct. So because it was your idea, I think you should talk about it. The next question is why O'Connor instead of Scar?
Yeah, my thought is that Lee is not starting. So the guy that you use on any set piece, on a foul, and any corners is typically Lee or McLean. Lee is out, and McLean's shot lately has been very flat. He has not been producing good crosses, so I would imagine that they use TOC for most of, if not all, set pieces today. And the difference between TOC and Brunt is not significant. Brunt's slightly faster, likes to carry the ball a little bit more, but TOC is much better at long crosses out to Barney on the opposite side. So I think defensively, they're close enough where you need that guy to put on good crosses, because we're thinking that that might be one of the only ways to be scoring today. Although they have all those giants, I mean, that's a good lead in for you and talking about that.
Yeah, now I'll come back to the Giants. We'll finish this one off, and then I don't know if you have the Barnsley graphic available, but we'll pull that one up just so we can go through the lineup, and we'll talk about the trees that are the Tykes from Barnsley. Barnett, he's on the right. Pencil that in. That's the first person you pencil in, I think, as a run, of course. McLean over on the left. And so in the midfield, if you've got no Lee, and then you've got four guys you're choosing from, really, James, Dobson, Rathbone, and Cannon. Turns out Cannon's on the bench, and so that's what it is. And then up front, Mullen and Palmer. I think you have to go with that in the last one. Didn't he take a knock in the last game? I didn't see anything substantive, but I'm not going to say no. And I see people's checking into the to the Discord, and so hi to everybody that's there. I'm probably going to be ignoring you as we go through everything here, but it's nice to see that people are signing up. So go ahead and do that, and I'll follow along. I'll keep that on the screen as well, so that people can, if you post things, I'll hopefully be able to at least see them pop up. What was more interesting to me, also the Lee thing on the bench, but no Mo Fall. And instead, you've got Bodferson, whose contract hasn't been extended past the end of January. And so we've got a 500,000 quid guy, young guy who's starving for minutes, who, put him in the reserves, sure, and get him a run out if he needs to the bank. But he needs first time minutes. He needs first team minutes. He needs the last 10 minutes of a game to go, similar to the last game against Wigan when he went out towards the end of the match. Just get him opportunities out on the pitch. He's not available, and it's said it's Bodferson. So again, same questions. Was there a knock? Is there something going on personally? Did he just look like garbage on in the training ground? But he's your young guy that you need to invest in. I don't like that decision either. So lots of curiosities here in this one. I don't know about those ramblings and what you think there. But let me know, Brendan, and I'll just give a shout out, Sam. Thank you for the compliment on the Welsh Beast podcast. 2022 to 2024 has been a run. But we're set up and everything's been good. And there's been a lot of joy in the house so far, and it's been nice to have to just worry about that and bills and not everything else that's going on. So yes, a happy 2025 gang to everybody. There's a picture that just popped up from Wrexham Dave, who said he's got Wrexham AFC in his blood for 3+ years and just realized he's got Welsh blood in his veins, and he's got the setup there with the whole screen stuff. That's impressive. So feel free to put that one up. But Brendan, what do you think about those thoughts? Bodferson, Fall, the lineup generally?
I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going on in the background. I think there's a lot of locker room stuff that I would imagine they're dealing with. A lot of guys feeling like they should be playing and aren't. Bodferson doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to cry about not getting time.
He's gone anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't think that's him. I don't know. I mean, I know we have to fall in, but these are kind of important games. I do think Bodferson has more quality, and I would expect he would be better at getting a goal Yeah, so I'm not really sure why. It's kind of surprising he's been out for a while and now all of a sudden back in.
Yeah.
No idea really.
I'm the same. I did want to talk about the Barnsley lineup just because there's a couple curiosities there that I've had. And if you're able to bring that up, that's fine. So, as to the roster that we saw before, it's going to be the same. We're going to see De Givigny and Earl in the back. And just as a reminder, Barnsley loves their giants in the back line. They're all 6'4" or taller. De Givigny, Pines is a giant. Earl, as I just talked about, is huge. They didn't go with Roberts. Roberts started in the last one. He's not even in the lineup for this one. Instead, they've gone with a 26-year-old defender, Connor McCarthy, who played for Swindon Town up till January. He joined during the January window of last year and came over to Barnsley, but he hasn't played any minutes. In fact, he'd only played one EFL Cup match this game until the game after us back in December. So he's had a run of 4 or 5 games with them now. He's earned his way in. And interestingly enough, the guy that I've been talking about a lot, Donovan Pines from Washington, he came over last January window. He's been scoring goals. He's been doing all right. He had some injury. I thought that he was looking to assert himself in. He's been passed over by Connor McCarthy. So that's an interesting outcome there. The other one that's even bigger is Humphreys. And we remember that name because it was rumored he was going to be coming to Wrexham. He's benched again. At least he's on the subs. So he's been moved off, and instead they've gone with Waters. Waters came in from Cardiff. He was loaned over, and then he's been signed with them, and he hasn't been scoring either. 10 goals in 56 games over the last couple of seasons with the Tykes from Barnsley. So some curiosities on both sides of the equation by both coaches. I don't know. What do you think? We're going to get the big bodies. We're going to get Keeler Dunn, who, interestingly enough to me, I've always thought Keeler Dunn played really very well against us just by sight and memory. But somebody was saying he plays poorly against us comparative to his stats. And I never looked that up. But what's your take on Keeler Dunn? What's your take on Barnsley? What to expect?
Yeah, obviously Dunn's awesome, right? And those big bodies are definitely a worry on what is largely the way we score, which is crosses into the box. I'm thinking, and I told you this before the game, the only thing that we've been integrating a little bit more instead of those great looping balls to the far post from Barney, we've been seeing a little of a cutback where one of our forwards or midfielders slows down, lets the kind of wave of people head towards the keeper, and then a cutback pass. I would guess that that's probably what they're susceptible to, and hopefully that's how we get some goals. I would guess in the air and getting headers is probably not going to happen today based on this defense.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a tough defense to crack down. I'm going to pause here just for a second. I don't know if you guys are listening on iFollow. I know that you guys aren't in the US. You've got this, but my God, are they loud today? I actually had to hit the pause button because I thought, Brendan, you might be playing some music accidentally in the background, or somebody might have triggered the audio. But the Wrexham fans are in full voice here. 13 minutes before, this is now the third chant, and it's echoing. So well done for them. Glostic Ninja, DB, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Red Horde. Thanks for joining in. Look forward to chatting with you in the chat. I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. Get it into the trees. I don't know if you have that Wrexham AFC archive.co.uk site up, but I can walk us through it too if we just need to.
Why don't you just go over it though? I wasn't able to bring it up. I still have Discord
Sure.
up.
Sure. It kind of goes through. This is going to be a difficult game to break down in the sense that they've got big bodies. They defend well, or relatively well, and we don't score a lot away. Add to that the voodoo curse, and that is that we have played 16 matches in Oakwell Stadium in our history, and we have absolutely 0 wins to show for it. 0 wins, 12 losses, 4 draws. in our history at Oakwell Stadium. And even more concerning than that, in each and every one of those games, they've scored at least 2 goals. I think it's a minus 44 goal differential, if I recall correctly, just off the top of my head. It's in the 40s anyways. It's an ugly track record at Oakwell. And so for me, you look at the game that we had, 2 evenly matched teams. We can go through the graphics if you want to, as to I didn't do the who are you, but I put together the graphics just to have a look at. And if you look at that, we're 2 very, very similar teams as far as style and as far as what we can expect by home and away, as far as goals for and goals against. This is going to be a battle. And I think we could get smacked here pretty hard. And I don't say that very often, but I'm not confident going into this one, and I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going to say it's a 2-0 loss. That's my prediction, and I don't often predict losses. But I look at Ogonko's not in, and Chomp, sure, he's been great, but he still has save percentages in the 60s, which is average, and you'll take that as your third stringer. But it hasn't been exceptional, and we were looking for the fine differences here between the matches. Accurate crosses, accurate long balls, they do the same. They out chance us both in shots on target and their fought mob X goals, if you count that. We're a little bit more efficient. It's just I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it. And so Michael says it's time to get off the Oakwell Schneid. I don't know, Brendan, did you have thoughts? I say 2-0. I say it's breaking us down.
Yeah, the more you talked about it, the more I heard that record. We haven't really been thumped in a while. I was all ready to say 3-1 Barnsley or 2-0 Barnsley. And all of a sudden it just came to me. We seem to make these late comebacks, all these great stories, as if it's written for television. And I was thinking a win here, like a big win here would be a huge surprise. It would be something great. It would be a thing to start off the new year. And we have probably no rights to be thumping Barnsley at Barnsley. So that's why I think we're going to win 3-1 or 3-0.
Yeah.
Didn't think it till the last second when you just kept piling on all the reasons why we shouldn't win. And all that did was make me go, okay, we're winning. We should.
This is where I'm convinced.
Yeah, you turned me around. You sent me one way, then the other.
Style works in court is that I go to argue something and somebody goes, you know what? I'm going with the opposite. Thanks very much. I'm doing something wrong in life. Just to go through some of the predictions. W&G says Wrexham's going to take this 1-0. And nice again to have you here, W&G. Still very thankful for the contributions. Oh, the other thing for people who don't know, the Huddersfield-Wigan match postponed as a result of flooding, not to the pitch, but localized flooding around the area. I guess it was difficult to actually get to the stadium. And so for safety reasons, they shut that down. The pitch was fine. Not like the field mill in Mansfield where they can't handle 7 millimeters of rain. But there they can handle a lot of rain on the pitch. It was everything else around it that couldn't. Stephen Reed, slow down. I'm the only negative Nancy allowed in here today. We got Mumbling saying 3-1 win. Records are meant to be broken. Be positive. So everybody in the chat's good. And I did like the comment from Tobias that says, I believe in the magic of fabric. And we've always got that as the weapon late in the game, should it be necessary. I would just like to see us score one early. It feels like it hasn't been like that in a while. Dave just showing a picture of the Cosmo. I will say this. I looked for Wrexham Lager in Washington. I even went online and went to Twitter to try to find it. And I can't find a store that's got it in. I don't want to just go down without it. Our game is not canceled. The Wigan and Huddersfield game is canceled. Postponed anyways. And so they'll have to get that one off. And so we'll deal with that as we go through. But that's one less game for W&G to follow along. Other things that we can talk about, go back to Sam's comment, and he was talking about the Welsh Beast podcast. And in that comment, or in that discussion, they talked about Paul Mullen and is he back? Is he out of his depths? What's the situation? And I thought to myself, you know what? He's been back for long enough now that to me, it's not a health thing anymore. It's a capacity thing. And here's the part that I find is ugly is he's a striker and his goals per 90 minute is 0.2. And so I thought, well, let's compare him to the top scorers in the league. And how many people do I have here? 3, 4, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. The top 25 scorers in League One. And I look at their goals per 90, and the only one that is relatively close to him is Ben Wiles, who's a defender for Huddersfield at 0.29. You look at these numbers and it's all there's a smattering of 0.3s, but it's 0.4s, 0.37. So he's almost half of what the average is and 4 times below what the top players are. Whoa. Got some audio feedback there from iFollow that was delicious. So I'm leaning more and more towards he's not there. And so in a game like this, if you were to ever have somebody to humble me and shut me up, and a game where we've got giant center backs who are going to probably just eat us up and destroy plays and break things up constantly, be disruptors in the box, and clear the crap out of everything, and a team that possesses the ball relatively well, we're going to need some magic. We're going to need some magic. And that's all I have to say about today. Berkeley, California, hitting the coffee up. Yeah, and only Wigan Huddersfield has been postponed. Sad fact is Max Kluivert has scored more goals than Mullen has, and that there's truth to that. And Palmer to be at his best. Yes, and if you haven't, I tweeted this out, and I think I put it on Blue Sky, or it was just on Twitter? I think it was just on Twitter. Wrexham, and I get it wrong, RexG and Analytics, he does, and I should get the does an amazing job of breaking down the statistics. And he's done a whole preview of who we could be looking at as far as experienced strikers who have played over 3,000 minutes that could fit in a Wrexham kit. To me, I think that's one of the players you want to have that level of experience, but I'm also good with going with somebody who doesn't, who you're just confident can get the work done. So not sure shutting you up is a great thing if you're providing comms. Yeah, fair enough. We need new strikers to replace Palmer and Mullen. I say with respect, 100%, Sam, and that's where I'm at. And I don't feel confident about this. And here David is rubbing it in. My wife bought me some Wrexham lager for Christmas, and you're in Washington. Yes. When she gets up, please ask me. And preferably in Bellingham. And just because I'm lazy, I don't want to have to drive all the way down to Seattle. I'll go to Everett, because Everett's got one of my favorite restaurants I've ever been to. They do Southern food, the U.S. Southern food in Everett, and like it's in a home that has been reconverted into a restaurant. It's it's just a family. It's the dad and mom in the back kitchen, and the bar, and their kids work in the up front, and it is amazing. So I don't even have the name of it. I should look that up. Barnsley has a crap home record though, and that's true. So maybe it's the battle of the voodoo. They're struggling, and if you go back to their stats, they've started to score a little bit more in the limited number of games since we've had them, but they've been giving up more. But for them, their voodoo magic. Oh, and I haven't talked about the ref yet either. But you look, they've lost their last 2 at home. Leyton Orient beat them 4-0. Brum beat them 2-1, but they've won their last 3 away. Like they're the inverse of what you'd expect. They haven't won. What did I say? Their last win at home, November 8th. And they've only won 2. One November 8th and the other one September 7th. So they beat Rotherham 2-0 and they beat Bristol Rovers 2-1. Not the greatest run that you can imagine. But where they struggle to keep the ball out of the net. We struggle to put the ball in the net. So who knows? At home, I should say, at Oakwell. So it'll be curious to see that. The official for this one, just by the way, is Ben Toner. League One official. He's done 9 games. He's tied for 3rd. Last time we saw him was early last year, Salford City, October 14th, 2023. It was a 3-2 win for us. His EFL debut, January 24, 2015. And his stats, because they matter, he likes to get involved. He is a 1.5 fouls more than the average. He gives out the 4th most fouls given for any referee. Yellow cards, 5.22, which is a full 1 extra yellow card average for the year. That's the 3rd highest out of all the officials in the EFL. And his red cards, he's given out 2 of them, 0.22, which is 2nd in League One for the referees, but he hasn't given out a penalty, and so card happy, and so be a little bit cautious. I expect that there's going to be a lot of whistled balls, which I think plays better for Barnsley than it does for us. Barnsley, they eat up possession, and defensively they're set up to avoid the cross. I think a game that has more flow it benefits us. I think we're more likely to score in open play than in set pieces, and so we'll see how it goes. It'll be a fun one. I changed it up underneath here. I went with the last year's black jersey just because I wanted to get a little bit of change up on the voodoo. I was wearing the gold and we didn't seem to work away with the gold. So I've changed it up. If fabric matters, we're pulling out all the stops today. If things work out today, Wrexham could be number one in the league. Yes. We didn't talk Andy's amazing graphic. Should we throw that up really quick?
Yes.
That's my bad. Andy does all that freaking work, and then I ignore the damn thing. If you haven't seen, this is on Discord, and it's an amazing piece of work because what he does is he breaks down basically those that are in the promotion spots, those are in 7 to 10. He rates them, color codes them. So if you were to go through, I'm on the wrong one. Did he put this in resources this time? I know he did the work. I just myself.
It's in general.
It's in general? I only see the one that goes up to December 29th. And I know he did the work.
I'm in general, yeah. He's got both of them up there. Yeah, he goes to the 29th with one. Go up the screen a couple more, and he has
there it is.
Days.
There it is. January 1st. So Stockport County hosting Brum today. Are we cheering for Stockport? We can decide on that one. Wickham Wanderers at home to Exeter City. I think with Exeter being a 13, fair to say we're cheering for Exeter. Hoping the Latics able to hold form while they're not playing so that we don't have to worry about that one. Cambridge United hosting Reading. And then you start to follow through with, I'm still worried about Bolton. Bolton's my team that I've said if there was a team that's going to come up from below and sort of surprise and push the top, it's Bolton. So we'll see if Mansfield Town's able to I'd take a draw on that one. I'd even maybe take a Mansfield win. We'll see how that boils down because they've got games in hand to work with the Bolton, and we'll see where they go. Barnsley, the Tykes in their red. We're wearing the gold for this one. Andy, I gave you a short shift on that one, and I apologize for it. I'll maybe bring it up at the half, and we'll do that when we go through the scoreboard. Watching. Clayton saying, I think the issue is the team has changed. We have noticed they've been handling ball movement, possession, and trying to be more accurate. And we're underway. Whoa, jumped out of everything. I'm going to get settled in. Clueworth puts it all the way down. Palmer sends it forward, and it's easily cleared away. And I am not set up for what I was. Matty James pushing it forward, and it's just going to go and get collected. And that was a lazy clearance back. And so here we come again. Dobson, I like the early start through the legs of a player. Battle push, and they bump into it, and there's a flop. Gets the call. And they say they're playing a 3-5-2, but I don't think that they are with Cotter. I think he's legitimately playing as a left back, but we'll watch and see what happens there. DeGevigny, Earl, and McCarthy. Well, maybe it is a 3-5. We'll watch it. Connell with it. Moves it forward. O'Keefe tries to get it. Lost and it's cleared all the way back. And it's going to go to McCarthy, who's playing as a right back in this setup. And if I recall correctly, it was DeGevigny who was over there before. But Barney's got it. Opportunity, and he gets around his man. Beat Cotter. 18-yard box. Turns. Spins the other way. He's got options. Looking. Cross. It's all the way over. Oh, it's mishit and misstruck by Palmer. There it is. Scores! Offside. Palmer touched it. No goal. I got excited. Palmer, when he touched it, was in an offside position so that when it rolled back and Rathbone grabbed it, buried it in the back of the net. Offside way in advance. and I got excited for no reason. Wah, wah. I want to see the offside. Barney had it, and it was the whiff here. Are they saying the whiff was offside? Would have been close. I mean, he's... Dobson with it now. He's going forward, waiting for support. Right-hand side, still waiting. He's got Cotter on him. Moves it all the way over. He's got Palmer right in front, 20 yards. He doesn't take the chance. He was going to go and look for Matty James on a pass to the right instead of taking the crack. Palmer, put the boot through it, my friend. Put the boot through it. TOC jumps out and intercepts, pulls a Brunt there. That's the one thing that I was talking about offline with Brandon about the difference between Brunt and TOC is TOC, I think, is more better set pieces, obviously, but more confident on the deck with his tackling, but doesn't do the interceptions as well as Brunt, and maybe not as quick. But there, that was O'Connor pulling a Brunt and nicking that one as we come across the halfway line. Palmer's had a couple of chances, and he's disappointed on both of them. One on the offside, which was close, and this just in Crawley and Charlton has been postponed. I hate those late announcements because that means all those fans busted. Well, I guess not like Crawley and Charlton are that far apart, but still, you're making the trip over and then you get caught off. And yes, offside catches me. He's had two sort of delicious chances and not able to connect on either. That one's put up. Cleworth had a haircut, or somebody pranked him and they just shaved the front of it off. Barney, that was a gorgeous pass all the way over 18-yard box, looking for a cross. He's dancing with Cotter, and there's the cross. It's there and collected by Killip, who just steps out and plays it, and away it goes. The counter is on. Keller done up there, running with Waters. It's over there with Phillips, moves it forward, and we were able to nick it and settle it down. No press on this one. Lots of standing around when we get the ball for the Tykes. And I will take this. You guys want to set back? I'm all for it. Because we tend to struggle, I would suggest, more when we're pressed than when a team sets up positionally like this. We'll take the time to break you down. And there's EOC with the long break. Diagonal goes over and it's headed out. We'll get a throw in over on the left-hand side, 35 yards out. Yeah, W&G. Just setting up the 1-1 tie is what all that you're doing, right? Kuwait. 59 countries on the board. Doug Beer.
Oh, by the way, I counted. I just hadn't changed the counter in a while. We're at 64, I believe.
Holy cow.
So that makes Kuwait would make 65.
Kuwait's 65. We're gonna have to come up with a list. You'll have to copy and paste and send that to me so I can put together a tweet that says, "Holy cow, we've jumped up to 65 countries." Giselle's mad at you, W&G. Throw in right-hand side. Come on. An early goal here from the early performance. This is the inverse of the Wigan thing where we're all over. The ball's just falling to us in the midfield, and there Matty James gets it and goes for the switch, but doesn't get it, but collects it back. He's everywhere.
We look like we're running and hustling, and they look like they're just sitting there relaxing.
Yeah. One team showed up, so this is where you want to take advantage. If they're going to sit back and rest on their heels, then punch them in the mouth by putting one in the net. Looking for a goal. There's Mullen stretching all the way out. He's beat his man, but not able to get to it before it rolls out. But well done is De Gevigny. Slow motion. Has there ever been a team to get promoted 3 years? Not in the EFL. You have to go down to, I think it was between the 8th, 7th, 6th division in the outside of the EFL was as close as it's got. I mean, I think everybody's sort of looking. I love Palmer. He's put in work, but I think we're due for two changes up front. And I think that's one of them. Hey, Mohammed, nice to see you. Leighton Orient going up 1-0 on Bristol. And yeah, I did raise that. 0 wins, 4 draws, 12 losses, and Barnsley scored at least 2 in every single match. Jesus. And right now, the Tykes look atrocious because even when they do get the ball and nobody's hustling, they just kick it right to Chomp and give it away. Chomp missed that one. He's tried. Like to Brendan's comments from about a month ago about Chomp being so accurate and deadly accurate as a passing outlet from the right. Dance in front and beat McLean. We've got trouble inside the area and it's knocked out. It'll go for a corner. That was O'Keefe who got inside. Everybody was hustling back to after. It was a long ball to the right, and McLean was over his shoulder and it came off, arguably off of his arm. Was that his arm that it came off of, or his left chest? In any event, it's going to be O'Keefe with a right-footed outswinger from the right-hand side. And I believe that's in front of the Wrexham fans. Swept forward, dangerous, and it's knocked up and out. And we're fortunate there. McCarthy. Oh, I'll take a magical volley. You know what? I don't care how he scores it. I will let him take one off the nose and score a Barney special. However it goes in, it goes in. The Barney special, that was his first goal with the club last year. Took it off the nose. Okay, come on, cameraman. McLean with it, getting booed loudly in Yorkshire. I'm sure in Yorkshire they'll boo loudly, louder than most places. And Mohammed, you got to. It's the Caps that grabbed you there, booted you out. As EOC has it, looking up the left-hand side, chips forward. Palmer chests it down, leads it for Rathbone, who gets it over to Mullen. Mullen looking for Barney. Nope, doesn't give to him, and now he does. Right-hand side, but because knocked out. Cotter. And if Cotter is not the left back and he's a left wing back, he's playing very far back defensively. And maybe that's respect Barney's speed. So I'm still not convinced that Botmob has this right with a 3-5-2 lined up. Nice little header up to Barney. Cotter's coming over to meet with him. It's going to be a battle that we're going to see all day long as Barney spins on him and runs towards the middle of the pitch. Pass forward. Dangerous ball. It's there, but nice little tackle by De Gevigné to free that one up. But we get possession over on the left-hand side. Cross all the way over. Palmer can't get up there to get it, but comes free to Matty James, who just bumps it forward to Rathbone. Left-hand side is just possession, and sniffing around in the final third. Cleworth, right-hand side, gets it over to Barney, 25, 30 yards out, draws it back to Cleworth, and are we going to go on a switch to the other side? We got Keeler Dunn running up, and we've got Waters up there chasing, so we go through Matty James, Cleworth now, and away we go forward again. Nice little ball forward to Mullen if he can get there, close to offside. Mullen knocks it back, flag doesn't go up, and then Rathbone just missed that one. I don't know what he was trying to do. I think he was halfway in between, I'm going to knock this down and play it, to then, no, I'm going to have a crack at it, to instead he just puts his boot into it and slices it off to the left.
Yeah, he's a right footer though, right? That was a left foot.
Left foot, had a crack.
Spinner.
I'll take it. If it set up for him, it would have been a blast. So, yeah, it's the Dalby thing. I went to sleep a couple of nights ago, was like, no Dalby. But the more I start looking at who the options are, and I'm like, maybe it's Dalby. I don't know. The thing is you have to be comfortable with this. Oh, had another opportunity, but I just got headed away barely. If you're going to be bringing in Dalby, that means you're comfortable saying that Palmer's done. Keeler Dunn into the area, 40-yard box, looking for an opportunity. First time for the Tykes, it's marked goal. That was a cracker. Davis Keeler Dunn just does what you want a striker and forward to do. Out of nothing, turns the corner on, I believe it was Cleworth, and just, that was a gorgeous shot into the far corner, and it's 1-0 bad guys. Like, completely against the run of play. We've dominated the whole first 10 minutes, and Keeler Dunn just says, you know what? I've had enough of this crap. I'm going to score one. Receives the ball just inside the 18-yard box. Cleworth is on him, and he just turns him, takes 2 steps to the right, gets around Barney, who's also there, and just plops it in the far right of the net. Simple. And yeah, it was an incredible goal. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's also a goal that doesn't get past Ogunquo.
I would agree with you there, but it was a hell of a shot.
Was
Anyone
a hell
other
of a
than
shot.
Okonkwo, it's going in on against most goalies. So.
But that one gets stopped by Ogonkwo.
I said 3-1. Great comeback.
All right. Lots of time and we've been playing well. Let's see if Mullen steps in. See, they're still standing around, and that's the thing that's frustrating is dominating. Michael agrees Arthur would have stopped that. Yes, Dave. And that's the thing is seeing Kone in the last game, when we watched Wickham take on Charlton, the goal that he scored there was eerily similar to this one. Better than the Keeler Dunn one that we just saw. He absolutely butchered Mitchell, and then plopped one in and created that one out of nothing. And you see Kone, you see Keeler Dunn, and you're like, who on our team is doing that? And as much as I love you, Paul, it hasn't been you this year. Yeah, that's true, Ken. Dalby scored 9 in the last 12. They can try him out for 5 games. If it doesn't prove to be a good move, let him leave. The thing is if you hurt his stock, you take less money in return as a transfer potentially. But W&G says we're coming back 2-1. I hope you're right. I don't know. I've just had the funk in this one. But to be fair, I thought that Barnsley would be coming out. They're starting to press now. I think that goal, unfortunately, woke them up a little bit. Killip collects it. Little scramble in the back. And he's going to thump it. And is he putting this straight out? No, just stays in. O'Keefe keeps it in. Knocks it forward. Phillips grabs it. And there's a foul. I want to see the artistic. Oh, wow. The Russian judge gave a 10 on that one for artistic performance because he went up, and I don't even know if McLean actually got him at all, but he went for the full roll tuck and the scramble and pout on the floor.
Yeah, it looked like a triple Indy.
Yeah, it was impressive. Yeah, Ken. There's so much to think about in this window, and I almost don't even want to think about it. I just want to let it happen. Whatever happens, it's going to happen. 18-yard box. They draw it back, and it's going to get put into the area, far left-hand side, knocked down, and Chomp's just going to collect it and move the ball forward. It's a lot quieter in the stadium than it had been previously as EOC gets the throw. It's similar to the Blackpool match. Yeah, I'm hoping. Would be higher, but the Romanian judge was unimpressed. Those cursed Romanians. Connell grabs it, moves forward, gets it up to O'Keefe on the right-hand side, tackled, and McLean framing him out, looking for an option, draws it back to TOC, EOC, Matty James, O'Connell. Well, confident play. Matty James moving it all forward. The chip doesn't work, but man, that was like about 6-7 passes with pressure on, all right within the 18 yards close to our net, and we were able to handle that one. Could be that Christmas pudding. To be fair, we're outworking them, or we were.
We look good. Yeah,
we look good. They look better since their goal. Man, do they have like the barber comes in one night and just cuts everybody's hair? Like Mullins trimmed up, Kluwerth is trimmed up, and it looks like the same barber. Might even done it themselves. Speaks to the quality of the cut. Everybody would be happy to know Dobson still has his flow. Egan with it, moved all the way forward, still on the run. Matty James trying to haul him down, 25 yards. Keeler Dunn with it, left-footed this time. No, he's going to nice little pass through. Danger! Kluwerth knocks it out for a corner. Oh boy, Keeler Dunn moved that one forward to Cotter on the left-hand side, who made the stab and just got it out. I think you just make the decision. It's either Dalby or it's not Dalby, and if it is, I know what Ken is saying. You've got an opportunity to bring him back, but I think if you're gonna mess with it, you either say you're the man, Palmer's gone, you're in, it's your horse, or you don't. Right-footed in-swinger coming for the Tykes. Far post up in the air and easily headed away, but collected there by Cotter, who's going to take a shot, and that rips way up and out. Come back only twice. Let's go to a poll here while we're at it.
Sorry. Just a speck ahead.
With the judo throw, arm around and under, and grabs the defender and throws him down. Are we coming back? Yes, to a resounding win. Yes, to squeak one out late. An option. Draw imminent. And nope, don't feel it. There's the poll. Have your say. TOC with it, left-hand side for a throw-in. And somebody, I wish I should have bookmarked it, who said Keeler Dunn never plays well against Wrexham. And I was like, that's not what I recall. Like it was always Keeler Dunn, Barry, and Kent. Was that the name of the kid, the other kid that ate us up? Kemp. Another long ball up to Cotter, but Barney was there. And they're all smiles. They're happy as all hell, the Tykes, having a little bit of fun up a goal. Wipe that off their face. But what if you have two, Dave? What if you have Dalby as your big man taking over for Palmer, and then you go out and you pay big money for like a pure, like a replacement for or an alternative to Mullen Marriott. Mansfield up 1-0 on Bolton. I think I will take that because I'm more nervous about Bolton drawing into things than us, but Palmer with it, moving forward, 4-on-3 options. Dobson there, Barney trying to join Dobson all the way. The cross, foot, blocked. Just Rathbone had to hold it and knock it down, and Cotter clears it. The chances are there. There's goals for us to find. I don't have the feeling that this is going to be. As I'm watching this, I said 2-0 before. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think this has all the designs of a 2-1, 3-2. There's going to be goals all over the way that both teams are playing. Well, Mark, interestingly, saying he thinks that he couldn't have got to that one. I don't know. I think that's exactly the type of. If it was lower to the ground, Ogonko struggles with those more. But that right at full stretch, full push, horizontal to the ground, his big frame, I think that's what he knocked. Oh, Ken, now you're pushing it. I'm with you, Dalby as a 9. Competition at the 10, and another attacking midfielder. Whew. I'm here for it. If you can find that for me, put it on the menu. We'll buy it. We'll buy it. But that would be my perfect January window. Ken just defined it for me as Mullen looking forward and nothing in that one. Oh, but Dobson's able to get, he steps in front of it. But that's the problem with Dobson is he just
handball.
He's a little bit, a second too slow, a half second too slow with everything he wants to do. It just Tykes moving forward. Keeler done with it. Moves it over to the right-hand side. Cross, dangerous, headed up, EOC, and Howard's able to go and collect it. 1-0 bad guys. Yeah, I'm with you, dog. Yes, Ken. Talked about that last time. That if you're going to do the Barney thing, is Rathbone just beats a couple of people and he's moving forward. 4-on-3. He's looking for McLean. Left-hand side. Lots of space for a cross. Draws it over for Mullen. Palmer! Blocked. Oh. Cotter. Oh, no. And then EOC loses it, and he's going to get beat here. All the way in on a breakaway. Somebody stop it. Cut himself off on the corner. Well done, but it's opened up 20 yards out. Shot Phillips. 2-0. All right. I hate when my predictions come true because I just had the ick all day on this one. I had the ick, and I haven't had the ick with Wrexham, I think, ever. But I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, I just don't like how this is lining up. I just don't like it.
That may earn Scar a spot back on the starting team.
The question for me is why are our defenders so close? Like, I get that EOC had to go over that direction, but Tom is just lost.
Tom had to cover for EOC because he fell down a mile out and gave it away.
But when EOC comes back and filled that spot when there was the mistouched ball on the far left-hand side, that's your cue when you see EOC coming to end up trickling back into position.
His position was actually much further left. He was still covering the middle.
And foul given. David says this is going to end up 7-5. And Aaron, how? Well, Palmer's had 3 chances. 3 real good chances. I haven't heard Ken. That was sort of my question, is whether it was personal injury related. I just can't see why the sub was made, but not that I think the TOC is a big drop off from Brunt. Start of the game, you're like, well, I'm okay with that. Whatever, we're just mixing up some minutes here. I was more surprised and more frustrated maybe that Lee wasn't in.
You're not really putting anything on TOC for that goal, are you?
No, well, yeah, a little bit. I think that TOC had the obligation on the left-hand side, and he came over and he covered well, but then he had the obligation to recognize when the cover was no longer required and get back. The fact that EOC got himself out to the ball before TOC did is indicative to me that we had a problem with the recognition of where the defenders were, because EOC came back, filled in his own lane, and then went back to the middle of the pitch, and TOC couldn't get there.
I thought the weak side, or whatever you want to call it in soccer, comes in, cuts back behind everyone and helps protect the goal. So he was way too deep to be able to get out to that guy.
But I'm saying the recognition had to be of when to move back away from that deep position and come forward. Right? Because he was too far over on the overlap. That's my understanding anyways. We can watch the replay. So I put a little bit on TOC. let's be honest, the bigger story has been our inability to do anything up front. We've had 64% of the possession, 3 shots. We're pulling a Wigan. We're pulling a Knots. Yeah, Ken, injury, and because I didn't really see an injury, I thought maybe something personally is going on, which I hope both aren't the case. Because that's a nice little pass. Mullen is still onside. Can he get there first? And he runs a circuitous route over to the right and comes over. And as a consequence, it's easily plucked away by De Givigny, and he plays it back. They are sloppy with the ball. There's still opportunities here. That goal looked like 2-on-none, even though we had 4 in the back. There's the definition. Yes. Mullen can be the sub, an occasional sub. I mean, do you think he'd accept a loan out? I don't know. Ken, but what if he gets hurt? And the thing is to me, you don't put him in as a sub unless he's ready to go. But if you're putting him in as a sub, then why don't you play him? He is awesome. Mullen is awesome, and he has performed exceptionally well. He's a hero to Wrexham and long will always be. But I continue to say at 0.2 goals per 90, he's not getting it done. And my needle of is the level too much for him is going towards yes, more and more. And I don't like that, making that statement. And I do still think he's awesome, but I haven't seen it. And let's be fair, Marriott went a long stretch last season while he wasn't getting anything done, and people were pretty down on Marriott. I thought I could still see it coming, right? I still saw the chances. I saw the opportunities. I saw the play and was like, he's got it. To me, Mullen hasn't shown me that there's the ability to create at this level. Palmer tried to get that one as it was kicked forward, but McCarthy able to clear that one. Ken, I'm with you. I'm also not Parky. There's a good trivia question. When was the last time Wrexham scored 3 goals in a match? We had a 4-0, didn't we? Earlier in the or 4-1. Was that against Leighton? As Bristol just evens it up against.
Hopefully, the answer to that question is going to be today.
Yeah, that's. Well, fascinating. One part of the Oakwell voodoo holds true. They've scored now in all 17 games that they've played with Wrexham at Oakwell. They've scored 2. They're asking for a yellow card on McLean here. Ooh, Steven. Where's the positivity coming from there? It will be today. And yeah, Mary did have the pedigree, right? Exeter. Thank you for that one, W&G. Cotter with it, heads it forward. EOC returns. Keeler done all the way back, moves it on over, and it's a flick on there. O'Keefe tried to get it to Phillips, but it's given away, and we're going with a long switch way too far. And Killip grabs it. Yeah, not in 2025, that's for damn sure. I'm the negative Nancy. Waters with it, left side, moving it forward, draws it up. Keeler done, steps on back, calm as you like, moves it around, gets it over to that's Earl on the left-hand side, draws it back, and here's De Givigny. No, McCarthy. They swap around to give Ian McCarthy Earl. Maybe this is the day that Dad Bod saves his job. To be determined. Ball forward, moved over to the left-hand side. Dangerous, 18-yard box. Missed that one, did Cotter. Skyballed it looking for the top corner, and if he struck that better, it could have been ugly. I think a long time ago he did. The answer to that question you can find at Wrexham AFC Archive.co.uk. Keeler Dunn was with Wrexham 3 league matches in 2019, 2020. One goal. Eastleigh, Yeoviltown, Bromley. And he scored in the game against Bromley. Barney, right side, 20 yards out. Clueworth comes up and it's bounced off a Cotter, and we're going to get a throw in here. Barney. Looking, he's got Clueworth to his left, 20 yards out. I hope not, Woody. Jeebers. Cleared away. How do we get this as the attack on a throw-in? Clueworth has to come all the way back and play it forward, and Cotter runs up, and it's just all over the place, scramble mess. Oh, I thought that's an odd call. Cotter got called on the foul on Barney when Barney wrapped his leg.
That's a great call. No, that was the right call. Cotter tripped him.
Oh, yeah, okay. He did step on top of him. All right. Somewhere in a parallel universe, Billy Waters and Sam Dalby have scored 15 goals each for Wrexham in League One. That's a weird... And I'm also a billionaire. I don't know if that's true on paper that we should be crushing this. I expected it to be a closer battle, to be fair, and it still may. I mean, the scoreboard may get to be 2-1, maybe even 2-2. We'll see what happens. I mean, we came out, we've looked the better team. Lots of light, no heat, as they say. He left. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Palmer chasing it down, tackled free and clear. February 22nd, 2020. Yeah. Massive, Stephen. Yes, massive. Barney throws it in. Dobson tries to flick it on, loses control, and it just gets thumped down the pitch. O'Connell going to chase that one down. That's absolutely true. Not moving the ball like they were at the start. And even the little touches like Barney just gave that one away and picked up a foul as a consequence on Cotter. Had the pass over onto his right-hand side and just heavy touch, loses it, and it moves forward. Mansfield up 2-0 on Bolton. Hey, Dave, if you wanted to make me a billionaire, not going to happen. Mia's confident we can still get something out of this game. There certainly are people who, I think the poll has changed and gone to 33% don't feel it today, where it was different when it was 1-0. I think people are changing their votes.
If we can get one before half, I think that you could turn this around.
Yeah. or even one early. It's possible. This would be I'm sorry to say this, the perfect game for Mo Fall.
No, I want the Vikings to come in and dominate.
All right. Man, if Bodfordson comes in and pockets one or two, what the hell do we do then? You want to talk? Oh no, giveaway there, misplayed on the ball. Unfortunately, they gave it away. Holy, EOC able to get it over to TOC. I didn't say EOC as though it was his fault there on the giveaway. That was a combination of Barney and others who gave that one away. The Vikings, he's referring to Bodferson and to the Scottish Viking Jesus. I think it's more by appearance than it is by DNA of Fletcher. If I were a billionaire, I'd buy Chester and insist on playing in goal every week. And then you wouldn't play? Or even if you tried your best, it'd still end up being like 11-2. That was the most Canadian 2 I've ever said in my life, by the way. Canadian 2. The Korean won. $10 is 10,000 won, so it doesn't take that much to get up there. Throw in 38 minutes. It's been a quick first half, and then we just give it away. God damn it. Palmer just kicks it past McLean. McLean gives him words and runs away, just shaking his head in disgust. Well, there's that as a comment, right? We need to lose big so the owners will spend.
They're not making the call, though. They're just leaving it up to Parkey.
Well, it can't be a wide open wallet. Like, here's $5 billion. Go nuts. I am not from Wisconsin. No. And yes, there is the reminder. I'll get to that one at the half. But thank you to them for sponsoring and no ads popping up. Reading goes up on Cambridge. Bugger. Welcome back, Cotter. Taking out welcome to Wrexham. Woody. Don't like. To be fair, I haven't been impressed by Cotter. Keeler Dunn, though, has Kluworth over on the left-hand side, 22 yards, 18 yards, goes for the pitch to the far side and goes too heavy. And it's just going to roll out, and we'll get a goal kick out of that one. Right idea to try and hit it to the leading players, but a little bit too far forward, and he's shaking his head in disgust. What the hell is going on? Nothing's working today. Dog Lover, welcome to the channel. It's nice to have new people joining, even in frustrating halves like this. We haven't looked god-awful except for the final third. Well, has our defense been god-awful? I think we just got beat on both, to be fair. TOC grabs it, moving forward, driving, trying to get around three guys. Ball squirts loose, and it goes. McLean was going to play it, decides to leave it for a throw-in. Really, Dave? Because I remember like how many moves did Rother make before we made our first. There's an entry into the box. Palmer too heavy on the chest and down, and it just gets easily cleared out. Hey, Sam, the score is 2-0. Barnsley leading over Wrexham.
All right, here we go. Some magic time.
Go for a throw. I'll take some set piece magic in the midst of all ugliness as Tom O'Connor goes over to take this one from the right-hand side. Keeler done with an amazing goal early 11th minute, and then Phillips in the 24th minute with a somewhat defensive lapse, had the opportunity and blasted one into the goal from basically right straight in front. Left-footed in-swinger from Tom O'Connor. Do a thing. Get us to 2-1, and we can start the comeback and the fight. There it is. It's flat. It's close. It's bouncing around. It's still up and available. It's going to get cleared.
Very good service.
good service, made a mess inside the box, which is what you want, and had a second opportunity, but ultimately it landed on the feet of Phillips, who was able to clear that one away. Still numbers forward. Keeler Dunn fighting with McLean, and it's going to come back all the way to Dobson, who's filling in for Tom O'Connor on that right side. Kluwerth, he's got it now. Morning, Denise. It's all your fault. You were late. We're down 2-0. Giveaway, and here comes the break. Keeler Dunn with it, middle of the pitch. He's waiting for support. Moves it to the right-hand side. He takes a flop, not called, and TOC grabs it. And away we go. Come on now. Find something here. 3 minutes and make a push. On the deck, up to Palmer. Back to Rathbone. He's going to recycle. TOC, we got 4 people back there. Matty James with it. Up to Rathbone. Back to EOC. Up to Kluwerth, right-hand side. Across the halfway line. Moving forward. Barney spun on Cotter, still spinning, comes over to the left. He's going to dance him again. Left or right, goes to Kluwerth instead. Kluwerth back to EOC at the halfway line. Too early for the toque time. When I end up bald in 2 seasons, I'm going to blame you guys. Starving my hair from oxygen. Peterborough draws closer to Burton. Man, that's for Peterborough. That's the end of their season. You lose that one. That's a great ball up to Mullen. God, come on, Paul. Like, you played him. If you're going to play him on his off shoulder in an expectation he's going to miss the ball, then you have to be able to collect the ball when it's missed. Goes to Mullen. Barnett just misses him with a pass. Mia says, she's not expecting the ball to get to him. I'm sorry. If you're making the run, opportunity. Chomp has to come out and get it. He just knocks it into we got a whistle. An offside call? Was that what it was? Yes, the flag is up. McLean with it. The boos resounding. Up 2-0. Oh, that's aggressive. Starting to GoFundMe to buy Mullen out of the contract. Rathbone with it. Punches it forward to Palmer. Palmer draws it back to McLean. The boos don't really get going on that time. Matty James with it now. EOC's got Kluwerth on the right. Decides to go to Matty James to his left. Matty James directing players. He's still looking. Goes to EOC. Nobody open. Everybody's pointing. EOC. Wasted that one. Just punched it through. Everybody's static and pointing. This is where I want it. Nobody's filling a space. Nobody making a run. Two added minutes. Mark saying that he's noticing that the getting Fletcher to warm up now, or is that maybe a halftime sub? Is Parkey going to do a halftime sub? Mark Griffiths saying that the Barnsley fans are getting onto the backs of their own players defensively, edgy, because there are goals that Barnsley do allow. They do allow a lot of goals at home, and so there's some nervousness, I guess. And Mark saying could take advantage of that. Here's an opportunity, far post, too heavy. And Cotter can't go and get that one. There's a minute left of added time. Why is that not a yellow? He just knocked that ball through the gap in the hoarding. I'm not hungover. I only had 2 beer with clam last night. Have to get better service to Mullen. He's peripheral today, says Mark. The whole first 20 minutes was nothing but us dominating possession in the final third. and never did he enter the equation. Wow, Waters fought off two people, Barney and Dobson, to be able to sneak that one, and he's got possession. Cotter now has it, lost it. Dobson clears, gets it up to Mullen, who helps it on, but it's easily collected by Earl, and there's the halftime window, a whistle, and it's 2-0 for the bad guys at a game where a halftime where we played well for the first 20 minutes, even after the goal in the first 11. We still, I think, held the balance of play. But after that, I haven't looked at the momentum meter. Let's take a look at the stats on that one. Is the momentum meter not working today? I don't have it up on my FOTMob for whatever reason. Brendan, what's your thoughts on that as a first half?
Really strange. I thought overall we played better. They just had two moments. It's usually that was what Wrexham would do. They wouldn't necessarily play better, but when they were going up against someone who was a better team, they'd have those moments where they would make a nice play and score the goal. That's what I feel kind of happened here. Overall, I think we looked really sharp. It's just stupid again. I'm really frustrated with the amount of offsides between Mullen and Palmer.
Sorry, I missed that because I just had Mia pop into my ear really loud. Go ahead. I missed that again.
I said I'm pretty frustrated with the number of offsides between Palmer and Mullen. It just is unnecessary. It's not like the back line is coordinated and then they rush forward and get you offsides. Our guys just trickle offsides and then don't hustle back, and it's upsetting. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's you go back to that opportunity where Rathbone did put in the back of the net and it got called back on the offside with Palmer on the left-hand side. I think it was close.
No, it wasn't. He was 3 feet, 4 feet off.
On contact, but not on delivery.
No. On the initial cross into Palmer, that he was offsides. I saw a replay on Paramount. He was a yard plus off.
So, I mean, and the thing is even despite being on offside, he really muffed the kick and didn't get the opportunity. It just sort of eked out to Rathbone, who put it into the net after the whistle had gone. But I'm with you as far as, I mean, we've got the advantage in possession. We don't in shots. To me, this is a game where the difference is in how the two teams have been performing in their final third. And for us, we've been atrocious in the final third. And for them, they've been absolutely clinical. And that's why we're sitting at a 2-0 score. Do I still think that there's goals in this game? Yes. Is there 3 for us and none for them? I think that's a big ask. But, I think we're to the point now where we're hoping we can get to at least a draw and walk away with something in this one. But Ken points it out, the surface is soaked and there's lots of gaps in the defense, so there are opportunities, and so there is some positivity. People saying put the toque on. It's warm in here.
So if that was Palmer, instead of Palmer on one of those, and that was Fletcher, where Palmer was wide open and he just takes so long to knock it down, settle the ball. They're all over him, and then he flubs it. That's one where it's one touch for Fletcher or a quick settle and a blast. Like that's where he makes stuff happen.
Yeah. There's another poll for you. Will Parkey be making subs at halftime? Absolutely. I think so. I'm not sure. And are you high, Sean? I guess I think so and not sure are a little bit close. Really
I have the stats up, by the way.
Sorry? You got the stats up?
I have the stats up.
Okay, I'll go to the stats. Sorry. As I said, 55% possession. The XG, pretty close and not high for them, 0.26. Like, really, they've pocketed the 2 opportunities that they've had. Both of them well earned. That Keeler Dunn one, I do think that Ogonko stomps that one. Mark says no. Mark says we were right behind it. There's no way, but I think that's exactly lined up for the type of thing that he stops. Oh, and hold on. I need this news for myself. Just let me pause and read this. Total, yeah, and I've heard Total Wines and More is the distributor. Looks like it's in stock in Linwood, Bellevue, and Spokane. They do ship within Washington. All right, I'm gonna have to. I don't have a Washington PO box. It's too bad they don't have one in Bellingham. But I guess I'm not going to Spokane, but I guess if I have to go down to Linwood or Bellevue. Let me just write that down. Priorities. Where do I get alcohol on a day like today? That becomes a priority at 7:53 in the morning, down to nothing. More passes, 196 to 157. You'd expect that with the possession. The fouls committed 6-1 for us. So we've been doing that. The XG on open play, we're above them. They've had more XG on set play, and I guess that's kind of what I expected at the start, but we're not thumping them there. 2 block shots against. One of them was a Palmer opportunity that could have been, but was taken away with the block. But you take a look at the passing, we're ahead in everywhere. You take a look at the defense, and we're winning the tackles. The difference, they're intercepting and they're getting a lot more clearances, 24 clearances to 13. And as much as that's a stat that benefits them, what that demonstrates is we've been applying more pressure. The problem is we're not doing anything when we've got it in the final third. And that's my take on it. Hey, I didn't bring this up, and all of these are brought to you ad-free because of the generous sponsorship that was provided by Ultimate Promotions. Thanks to them, ultimatepromotions.biz or ultipromo.com. Go there. They do pins like this. These are the pressed ones. They've got soft enamel, hard enamel, so you can get the design and the etching if you want to. They do badges. They've also got the medals, and they're looking to do those at discounts. If you reach out to them and you say, coming to you through the Red Horde, they said that they'll do discounts. So if you've got tournaments that are coming up for your kids' stuff, or challenge races that you're organizing, or events like that, and you're looking for medals, reach out and see what they can do for you. 48 years of service, lots of large corporate people that are involved with them as clients, a good company, and well managed and owned by a family member, obviously. So they paid market rate, and they're legit. They do good stuff. So reach out to them. I'm just frustrated. So far, most people saying they think I'm crazy for suggesting a halftime thing. But there was a conversation with Fletcher over on the side, and he got up and was like, "What? Am I changing? What's going on?" I'm beginning to blame Parkey for the away form. I can't find any other reasonable explanation for record at home versus record away. I don't know.
Watch the replay, Sean.
Sorry?
Watch the replay.
Oh, I missed the replay on the iFollow one because I'm already at the second goal. So I missed it. But Dave, I get it. But could you just say, when you're a player and you're dealing with the magic of Wrexham and how much coverage that's there, and you've got that all packed into the race course, that you get up a little bit more, you're a little bit edgier forward, you've got the fans carrying you to things, and that little added pressure, the documentary and at home and all the magic picks you up a little bit more than normal, and so that's the difference. It could be. Mullins had 21 games this year.
So both of those goals, they hit the side wall inside the goal. I mean,
yes.
Those were pinpoint on both of them.
Yeah.
So Chomp's not to blame here. That's just ridiculous.
I'm not blaming him, but and certainly the second one, no. That first one, as amazing as it was as a shot and as a goal, I just think that's right in the wheelhouse of Ogonko to get to. With Chomp, there's no chance. With Ogonko, there's, I think, a substantive chance that he makes that save. Not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but that's the difference between a 66% save percentage and an 84 or 85% save percentage. Those are the types of ones that you just kind of go like, holy crap, Ogonko did it. I love Chomp, and as a third stringer, he's filling in exceptionally well. But
I hear you, but he was screened, two defenders blocking it, so you can't even see the ball coming. He bends it wide and he puts it off the side wall inside the goal. I mean, like, at some point we have to give the other team some credit. Those were perfectly placed balls.
I give credit. I just and at the end of the day, Barney really did nothing but those two opportunities. but they pocketed them. And I mean, we can be critical, and you look at the game against Wigan, like we had the assist off of the backside of a player. We've had some lucky bounces and stuff like that. It's certainly opportunities get you results, and so you need to continue to have those opportunities. But I don't know. I'm still of the opinion that was a savable ball, the first one. As impressive as it was of a shot, I think that ends up being, wow, that was an amazing play and an even better save. But I don't think we can. Down 2-0, there's no reason to risk the injury for me. There's a message to bring on Ogonko now. I wouldn't. You've given him the day off for a reason. You're down 2-0. If it was 1 goal, maybe. But 2, I'm for, we're riding this one out. I'm not an apologist for Mullen, but let's not pretend it's been the 21 full games. That's fair. That's fair. That's probably that's where I am with it. Like that's from Bryn Walden Free Canadian. I'm guessing that his sands of time are running thin. And that's where I'm with it. Is it's starting to get to the point where we've seen enough to know. And does it suck to have to say that? Absolutely. I don't want that to be true. I don't want it to be the truth, and I want him to do something to prove it wrong. John says, I believe Ogonko could have saved one of those, but no way both. And that's where I'm at. Is that's the difference in that 20% gap in save percentage is one of those shots gets pulled back and isn't a goal. And I think that it's there. I put out the voodoo. It's all my fault, Kim. I'm sorry. I will never do it again. To be fair, I haven't had that ick. I mean, I was nervous in the one, not the one against Wigan, the one before that. I was nervous for that one. But this one, I wasn't nervous. I thought that one we could still pull it out. I was just nervous. This one, I was like, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. The chat is going. If Ao's good enough to be on the bench, that's my take. Goofy Splat is I wouldn't be putting him on the bench unless he's ready to go. If I'm to blame anyone, I blame Parky, believe it or not. Ogonko should have been on to start. Fletcher could have started with Mullen, or maybe even instead of Mullen, since Palmer chances at least. And I guess that depends, Aaron, on what your take is on Palmer, because I admit I've said Palmer's playing at his ceiling. There's there's nothing better that you can get from Palmer. But I've been comfortable with him playing at his ceiling. Anything less than that, I'm with you. Fletcher gets the start. But Fletcher, I'm not comfortable with him getting the full 90 minutes at the moment. And so I think you have to ride Palmer into the ground and hope that he stays close to his ceiling. When he doesn't, in a game like this is where you start to notice the drop, right? And that's the difference. There is no way you can compare Paul Mullen to Pavel Bure and the run out. Pavel Bure was at the tippity top when he was run out of town. Mullen's had his opportunity, and there's been an extended run of just not putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's what you're paid to do. And do I want to ride the guy into the ground? Absolutely not. Do I want to run him out of town? Absolutely not. And if you're not, Fletcher, we're doing a halftime sub. Mia saying she doesn't even see Palmer out there. So I'm wondering what the service is, or what the message was in the because if Palmer's not coming out yet, and Fletcher's lining up to get in. Well, we'll see what one half of the Viking duo can do, and we'll see if Bodverson gets his opportunity as well. But I think you have to make this is the type of thing, to be fair, that I've been critical of Parkinson of, is not when the team needs a shot in the rump side, not making a change and just sort of riding things out. This is him making it off. God. White Rose. Welcome to God's own country in Yorkshire. Only people in Yorkshire ever say that. I guess, no, that's not true. People from Saskatchewan say that because I grew up there, but it's absolutely not true. But welcome to the Barnsley fans. I guess I wasn't high. I will take it. Scar. Would you do all those changes, Ken? That's a little excessive. Repping for McLean. Dad bod. I thought Dad bod was Palmer. Scar for O'Connor, Cannon for Dobson, O'Connor for Howard. We're mulling everybody over. I don't think I've ever seen this, and I'm shocked. We're underway. So we'll see what happens. A halftime sub for the first time that I can remember seeing. Yeah, it could happen. And we're all just shocked. There was a halftime sub. You know that somebody's not happy. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in the change room in Barnsley. Oakwell Stadium, going to have to repaint that entire room now as a consequence of this half. So Mullen up there with Fletcher. He's going to get it to Barney, but caught it. Ooh, misplayed that one, but it just squeaks out, and we'll get a. Oh, maybe it was intentional. I was going to make a halftime sub. Wrong sub, David. Wrong sub. And it was a year ago. So, hey, you know what? Let's turn the voodoo magic around. We scored in bunches to beat Barrow. Maybe we can score bunches here to beat Barnsley. It's the Barrow-Barnsley combo on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Let's turn it around. If my positivity is the reason why we end up losing and or winning this thing, then so be it. Oh, hi, bud. I can't have you out here. Yeah, that's fine. I can't talk to you, though, because I'm talking to my friends. Going to get a free kick on the other side. Reading goes up 1-0. Rathbone with the opportunity there. Gets hauled down. Free kick. Going to come from 35 yards out. So I will try to be Mr. Positivity here. He pushed you down the stairs. That's not good. We'll have to have a talk.
I'm going to stand up because I don't want to.
Can you say up the town?
Up the town.
Up the town. That's what we're doing. We'll see if you're good luck. Can I rub you for good luck?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Make him put on the toque.
How about this?
Yeah.
You want to put this one on? Oh, look at that. See?
Yeah.
There it is. Goal time.
Oh, my finger.
Oh, your finger.
What's my finger?
Rathbone knocks it down, pitches up Fletcher, back heel over to himself. That gets knocked out. We'll get a throw, and McLean takes it quickly. Rathbone down the left-hand side, loses it, regains it. Still an opportunity, and it's going to go out, and we'll get a corner on the left-hand side. Let's go. Let's go. Good luck, charm.
Let's go.
Let's go. You watching this?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
can feel it. Here it comes.
You're not going to be allowed to leave if they score here. Rathbone taking this one instead of TOC. Right-footed in-swinger from the left-hand side. And flat. Still there, Dad? Oh, almost scored. Still loose. Bangs off of a player. How did that not go in? Rathbone going to serve it back in again. Not as many gold jerseys. It's headed away, but that should be collected by Barney over on the right-hand side. 20 yards out. Serve it back in, lads. McLean, wrong foot, but he's going to put it in. Headed away, and we'll get a corner on the other side. Let's go.
Bye, Dad. Bye, Walter.
How did this not go in? It's up. Yep, you can go. Fletcher misses it and driven right to the space where he was. Close the door when you leave. No. Okay. Okay, we're back to normal. Walter, close door. Oh, he's got the toque. It's okay. That's why I have two. That was a crazy save. Down low, difficult to get to, and still able to get it. Yeah, thank you, Spencer. Annoyingly good save. It's true. I'm almost glad they didn't score because I would have had to have like handcuffed the kid to the chair and he would have cried because he would have wanted to go play with toys and not be in here for the entire 45 minutes of the half. And I would be like ordering him that he had to stay. Believe. He took the toque, but I don't know why I know why I have extras is because my parents ordered me something for Christmas last year and got me a toque with the delivery, and then so did the in-laws, and I got a toque with the delivery, and so I've got weapons. O'Connell, nice little play there to get that one back. Chomp is going to play it down the middle of the pitch. Fletcher doesn't get to it, but knocks it sort of backwards to Rathbone, who sets it up. Dobson now on the right-hand side. Dobson, players moving forward. Got Rathbone, going to play it back. All the way to TOC, halfway line. We can still get one here early. 4 goals. I mean, we've stepped up to a buffet. The question is how much can we eat? The Wrexham fans are loud. That one gets put over top. It's knocked back. And it's just going to be a clear. Is that going straight out?
Feel the momentum.
Rushed, clear, and see, they're nervy. And so here come the subs for Barnsley, which I like this. Lose a window early. But he's a little – when the manager's nervous, he's making changes. And Daryl Clark steps up, and, here comes Pines, the American, into the back line. Did I not say Daryl Clark? I think I said Clark, didn't I? Pines comes in for Earl, which is interesting that he comes in not for McCarthy. There's got to be a lot of love for McCarthy, kind of out of nowhere. Because Earl and DeGevigny have been like the men. And so in any event, we're back at it. O'Connell with it, right-hand side. Clueworth draws it back to O'Connell, and we're going to try and set up down the left-hand side. Tom O'Connor's got it. He's got Rathbone with him. A little bit more press here, and maybe that's a consequence of being so poor setting up defensively that they've decided to step up and press our back line. We need the Olympico. We're going to call it again. Flicked on. Dobson, nice little pitch. He's 18-yard box. He's just into the area. Does he have a shot? Left-footed. Goes to ground. It's still a scrabble play. Loose ball. Barney with it. He collects it.
What are they calling?
Up in the air. Handball. Given a corner.
What bullshit is this?
I'm going to have to see it to be completely fair. I missed it, so I didn't see it, and I don't have an opinion. But let's watch the highlight here. Dobson, which I love him. But he's not the guy I want in the area carrying the ball. He's great everywhere else. Here it is, and we're calling handball. Yeah, that's a handball. Right hand. Well, that one, the backside doesn't look like it. Let's just... Football gods give it to us here. TOC, left-footed, near post. That was Donovan Pines got there first. McLean puts it back in, and it's cleared away. And I think that both Fletcher and Mullen were offside on that one in any event. So Dobson knocking it down. The presser continues. Gave it away. Here they come the other way. Nope, given away. And so Mullen's able to collect it. He's 30 yards out, 25 yards out. Players closing in on him. And he goes to the ground, screams for a foul. That was a flop. Not given. The ref is letting him play. Chan, 안녕하세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Happy New Year to you too. Down the left-hand side, Fletcher chests it, moves it over 30 yards out. He goes to ground. Rathbone with it. Fletcher trying to get in front of the goal. And it's right in front now. Matty James, blast. Fletcher's offside, so he doesn't play it. And it's clicked back over to Fletcher. Why would you go back to the guy who just put himself back onside? McLean, pressure. And
What
now
was
he
this?
gets a soft foul against Fletcher. I spent a summer camp at Donovan Pines. Oh. Do you think Mullen flopped there, or do you think he was fouled?
Oh, it was a bullshit dive. It was awful. I could see the setup coming. I knew he was going to try to dive for that box.
Everybody's closing in on him, and so he was like, I'll go down at some point in time.
Yeah, he was just trying to get as close to the box as possible.
We're winning the ball everywhere. All we're doing is really staring at the clock here. You know what's fun? Shots on goal. Let's try it. Let's see what happens when you get those. Rathbone with it. Dancing on Connell, moves it over to EOC. He's got pressure on Humphreys, who's come in as one of the subs. So it was Donovan Pines. Humphreys was the other sub who came in for Waters. Mullen chasing Don Pines! Side of the net. Mullen's down and he's injured. That's not what we want to see. Pines immediately calling for the physios there on Mullen, who went into the hoarding really hard, trying to get there to beat it before it went out. Got a shot off to the sidewall, but he went plowing into the hoarding, clattering. Yeah, it was a handball in the box. We were gifted one against Wigan. We had one taken away here. He missed it. He got past Pines, moving forward. He had to go for it, right footer, and then oof. Love the effort. Yeah, this looks concerning. They're holding his neck. Well, he's coming out. He's not going to be playing there. As critical as we've sort of been of Mullen as of late, this is not the garbage that we want to see. And not saying that it's Donovan Pines doing anything. This was just hard work, scrambling for the ball, put in the legwork, we got the hustle, and then on making the play, a little bit of contact, and just enough after sweeping to try and take the shot that he just goes into the hoarding that's right there.
That was way too hard of a first touch. That's why he was full all out going.
I can't be critical of the shove in the back. I don't think that there was anything outside of what you'd normally get.
No, I just mean Mullen's first touch. He put it way too far ahead of himself. Had to go at it full speed.
Yeah, I was talking to Dave, who said, "How about the shove in the back to push him?"
Oh, sorry.
And the hoarding, I don't know if I've ever seen hoarding. Mind you, I don't really stare at it that much. It looks like PVC piping with like a vinyl netting and it must be anchored in there really good, because he went into it hard and it just bumped back a little bit. And Chris, I'm going to assume I pronounced that Pusey. And so Mullen's screaming because he wants to be back on, screaming for a penalty, but he's up and he's him.
No, I think he's just wishing the referee a happy new year.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. He said, "Happy New Year. Hope you had a great time."
Kicking dirt on the ground as he goes. Tough those Scousy lads. I can never question the effort, right? That's not what I'm being critical of. Fletcher, well done. Strip that one away. Pick the pocket of O'Keefe, and he's got McLean coming, and he just... That's O'Keefe getting embarrassed twice there by Fletcher. Once on the initial take, and then O'Keefe was like, I'll work my way back and nick it back from him, and he just ends up doing a flyby as Fletcher just draws it back. Blackpool goes up 1-0 on Shrewsbury. Banters back on. Finds Mullen! Brilliant save, Fletcher! And it's knocked off the line for a corner. Oh, my word. Snake bitten. On the schneid. Can't find the back of the net. Cursed. Whatever you want to say. Great pass by EOC. Mullins goes in, left footer to try to get it over top, and Killip saves it. And then it gets knocked to Fletcher for the far post, and O'Keefe is over there after I just said he got embarrassed twice. O'Keefe saves that one and keeps that out of the goal. Ah! Come on, football gods. And that headed out by Pine, so corner on the left end, a corner on the right, this time by TOC. The fans are into it. Right-footed in-swinger from TOC. Near post. Headed off the side net. McLean got it on target or close to. Had the opportunity. McLean, it was near post. Tough to get the right angle on it. Ends up getting his head on it and drives it with enough pace, but it just goes off the side netting. Not yet a Wrexham story. This is old Wrexham story. We want new Wrexham story. Yeah, John, it's the near... I like the far post ones where you go beyond the back stick and you bring it back, but the near post ones are so hard to turn into something. Fletcher flicked on, knocked back. It goes all the way to O'Keefe on the left-hand side. McLean gets the block on. It'll be a throw-in 35 yards out for Barnsley. McLean. Parkey helping out with the delivery of the ball. O'Connor. Mullen more into this game now that he just got rattled around. And this is like getting junk tapped earlier on. It's like you've got to slap him around or throw him into the hoarding or kick him in the groin. Do something to wake him up. Yeah, Aaron, to be fair, that's what I said at the half. I don't think we're getting 3. Long clear from Killip. It's going far to the right. McLean is able to keep that one in, but he advances it forward, and it's DeGivigny just chips it forward. Phillips and O'Keefe playing catch over there, but Matty James comes and nicks it. TOC all the way back to Chomp. Knocks it down, right-footed, and get us underway here. Fletcher tried to advance it onto Dobson, but couldn't do it. Instead, it lands to the feet of Russell. Russell goes back to Pines, who scoops that one in the air, and we'll get possession on a giveaway there by Donovan Pines. Come on, lads. Robert Hoosen, thanks for signing up and joining.
Mullen came out of the penalty box for that breakaway goal there.
Yeah, see that all the time in hockey, don't you? It's the first time I've actually ever seen it in soccer where a sub gets whistled back on and goes on a full run and pick that one up and on that earlier opportunity and wasn't able to get it. Mullen trying to get off of Pines. It gives a free kick as Mullen got into Pines' back there. Well, W and G, we love you. But that's not what we wanted to hear. Wickham goes up 1-0 on Exeter. If you're watching over on Twitch, you're watching over on X, we're at YouTube, at the Red Horde. Come over, join in the chat. That's where all the magic is. 65 countries have joined us over the course of 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah, Giselle and I tomorrow. I'm sorry, Deandra and I tomorrow.
Tomorrow? The 6th.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't do that to me.
I was thinking it was Saturday. I was way ahead.
Yeah, that's why you're thinking it's Saturday. I got to get going.
I think I put Saturday on the thing. I did. That's where my head's at.
It's the holidays. Nobody knows what it's going on. Barnsley with it. Opportunity here. Offside? No, not offside. it went wide anyways. Howard had to come out and stop that opportunity. Dangerous. Could have been 3-0. I thought that had to be offside, but it's not. Barney through the middle of the pitch. He's got red jerseys chasing after him. Gets it over to Fletcher. Goes over to McLean. Left-hand side. Serve that up. Far post. Bodies! Oh, my word. What is happening? How can we not score? Dobson right there. And I don't know if that was saved or off of the woodwork or if it would have gone in any event, but Dobson's right there wide open on great service over by McLean and just can't get it in. What in the freaking frack? Oh, woodwork. Dobson had to do better there. Hey, Santiago. It doesn't sound sarcastic at all. Corner, far post. Keeper punches it up, but it's still not necessarily cleared, and now it is. Barnett puts it back into the box, wide open. This is a great save. Killip. Bugger. McCarthy was the one who was able to get that clear, and now here they come the other way, but they give it away, and here's Dobson. I can't get that. Dobson's off. Dobson's just off. Oh, flop. I was going to say you can't call that way if you're not going to call it the other way, as that was artistic by O'Keefe. Knocked down. Fletcher has it. Gets it back to Dobson. Moves it over left-hand side to McLean. The hair gel was too hard. If he went with his man bun, it would have put it in because it would have been the softness of it would have. Humphreys, right-hand side, him versus EOC. EOC gets a foot on the ball, but Humphreys maintains possession. 9 yards away from goal over on the right-hand side. Humphreys dancing. He's got EOC with him. Left-footed cross. Way too heavy. Nothing out of it. Isn't that the messed up part about this, David, is we talk about our efficiency all the time. And and if we had any of these chances in other games there in the back of the net, oh, Max missing that opportunity as he got punched away. Barney Sayers it up. He's wide open. Cleworth had the far post, the far corner marked. Rathbone moving forward. Still lots of time left. 23 minutes and there'll be a healthy amount of added time. We've just got to get one and maybe the floodgates open. McLean with it, driving all the way to the middle of the pitch, and Barnsley just standing around letting him do it. Cleworth gets it over to Dobson. Draws it back to Matty James. They're just going to let us take our jabs, and problem is we just need to find one land. Nice into McLean! Or Mullen, sorry. Mullen, great first touch. Not good on the second touch. Had the touch to get it around Donovan Pines, but then just couldn't get over to the half volley. Oh, look at that rain, too. Do I do it? Is it all my fault? Is this all that we needed to do? Come on. Teaming it down now. Not what you want to see when you're down 0-2. He's been around, Travis. It hasn't been any of the miraculous passing, but he's been in the mix. O'Keefe over to the right-hand side, tries to draw it back, and misplayed, and Phillips has it. It's going to get it into the box. There's a shot. Big save by Howard on... Oh, that was Keeler Dunn. Was going near post, and Howard was able to lay himself on the ground and knock that one the other way. Corner, right-hand side, coming. See, I usually think that we've been good on the conversion. Statistically, we're third in the league. Right-footed out swinger being served up here near post, and it's knocked back. It'll be another corner. O'Keefe served that one up, and it looked like Fletcher got ahead of Humphreys. Because that cloud following Mullen around and it just opened up. $13 shots to 7. XG 1.39 to 0.45. I hate looking at the XG, but it tells you a lot, and that one's headed up in the air. Oh. Connell just goes to ground, stops abruptly. Mullen runs over top of him, and they're going to get a free kick here from about 28 yards out. Maybe less than that. Let's call it 25 yards out. No, you take it if you can get it. Just look to consolidate if you need to. Cannon stretching. No, you take it. You take it when it's there. Or else you can just lose momentum and end up sitting mid-table and into the making this your home, and that's not what I want to do either. Ride that momentum.
What kind of stall is this? Jeez.
Left-footed, up in the air. Chop collects. Get it going. Searching for Mullen, but Pines is there. Heads it back the other way. Fletcher into the battle. Knocks it down. Dobson gets and flicks it on. It's flicked on again, but Donovan Pines is there to clear it. Yeah. O'Keefe knocked it back to Killip, and away we go. This is the kind of match that makes you wonder why you enjoy football. Preach. Cannon in for Dobson. 18 minutes. You think we're out of gas? I still think we're foot to the floor. The problem is we're just got no steering wheel. We're reckless.
How long are we going to stall here? Come on.
Parkey's pointed at the balls. Whistled in. Now we're back underway. That took a really long time to get it going. We're just watching Parkey marinating on the sidelines in the rain. He is enthusiastic. Cleworth, just our side of the half, throws it in along the line, headed back by Barnsley, and it's going to get collected there by Matty James, who tries to put it down the right-hand side, but it's collected. And then a missed touch there, ends up on McLean's foot, left-hand side. Fletcher, far post, loop ball early. It's if he would have played that to Cannon, Cannon gets clattered into away from the ball. Cleworth pushes it in. Can McLean get there before it goes out? Tries to save it, but it's going to go for a goal kick. Nothing there. Bugger. Speaking of reckless, go Team Canada. Eesh. Let's not talk about that one. Save the toque for another day. I tried. I just didn't want it to be my fault. Gnawing at him. Hungry, thirsty, but just not able to get the job done. 14 shades of red on the Pantone chart. Kick down. We're going to get a throw in here. Cleworth with it. If we're going to get into this, we should probably be looking to get one early. Fletcher tried to not. Do you bring Bodferson in at some point and go back to your 4-4-3? I think you kind of have to, and I'd be doing it earlier rather than late. Fletcher plays it on to Cannon, cleared away, and they're able to collect it there as Russell has it, knocks it around. Kaylor Dunn back to Russell, and away they go left-hand side, but a bad pass there. Just gave it right back to us. So Clearworth grabs it and collects and swings it over to the left-hand side. I'm surprised there is a Barnsley group. Nice little pass giveaway opportunity here. Barnett, lots of space. 3 jerseys, serve that up. Far post, Mullen too far. When have we seen a bad pass by Barnett? He had lots of players. He just had to serve it up, and instead he put it right next to the goal line. Way too close. Couldn't be played. Put the toque under the headphones. That means I have to take that off. Now I can't hear anything, but I'll do whatever's asked for. Man, that's hard with that bobblehead. And I'm going to have to turn the volume way up now that I'm all... We can point to this game as proof that we can't even buy a goal. EOC steps in front of that one. Nick in possession, tries to get it over, and well done, gets it to Rathbone. That was a great effort by EOC to eke out some possession. EOC gives it over to McLean. McLean sets it wide switch. Barnett knocks it down. Cannon not there, looking for a foul. We'll get a free kick. 22 yards out as Cotter just completely ran over Barney. If that's all it took, Sam, I'll learn my lesson. I thought I'd be taking a crack here with Mullen, especially in the rain. But instead, it's TOC standing over top of it. Wet, slippery ball being served up here. TOC left-footed, having a crack. Knocked down, and Killip just easily puts it into the ground, collects it, pushes it out. All right. How many seconds go off the clock? That's 10. 15. 20. It's not the worst we've seen, I guess. Headed on, knocked back, Keeler done, not able to get there, and well done to have that stripped, and is searching for Mullen, but Donovan Pine's able to knock it back, but McLean collects it. Look to do a cross, 20 yards out. He's still dancing, going to draw it back to Rathbone on the left-hand side. Switch on, over, Cluworth, 35 yards out. He's going to pull it back to Matty James. He's got TOC who's moved forward, drops it back to O'Connell. O'Connell, last man back. Everybody's forward now. Cannon. Up to Rathbone. He's into a battle. Loses the ball, but he's collected by TOC. Draws it over to the Rathbone, 35 yards out, left-hand side, moving towards the middle of the pitch. Rathbone stops and turns. Come on, McLean. Do a thing here. Not pushing it deep a lot. They're stalling at about 25 yards forward. Cannon draws it back to Matty James. And it's all the way back to EOC. He's got pressure on him from Humphreys. Oh, pushes it a little bit too far forward, and Cluworth has to play it back to Chomp. And Chomp thumps it down the pitch. Fletcher! He couldn't get the pass forward to Mullen. It was well done. Chomp gets it all the way down to Fletcher, who collects it, moves it forward, and just couldn't get it going to Mullen. Cluworth puts the pressure on. Mullen knocks it onto Fletcher. Lots of space here. 18-yard box, too heavy on the touch, and it's just put out, and it's cleared. We can't. We're so close to everything, and the whole time. Heavy touch in the rain off of his knee, and then all it's done is knocked out there by De Gevigny, and we'll get a corner on the right-hand side. It's all I can say. Massive. For us, it's massive. Shrewsbury coming back on Blackpool. Put in, headed away, knocked down. Cannon trying to collect. He's going to push it out to the right-hand side. Doesn't make it there, and Barnett puts it back in. Cluworth spinning, chasing. It's headed out. It goes out for another corner. Three seed, 4 seed doesn't matter because they'll both get the home field advantage, and then the finals up against Wembley, or in Wembley, right? Oh, missed everybody as it goes in, and Mullins right there. He puts it forward. It's right there. Scores! Cleworth with it, grabbing that ball. It's being picked up by De Gevigny. Away we go. Come on. Woo! Max Cleworth, mad scramble. We've got 10 minutes left, and we've got ourselves a game. Cleworth sets it down. So off the corner, it goes far wide. Short corner taken, crosses over. Barney serves it up, misses everybody. I'm disappointed, but Paul Mullen gets back, hammers it, and it muffs it, and ends up following just to Cleworth and scores. Get in, let's go. I don't think that was a pass. I think that was a muffed shot that messed everybody in a mob in the middle. Pines is on the deck. He's got somebody on top of him as they all collide with each other. Cotter misses that one. Pines goes down. O'Keefe is on top of him. And Cleworth sits there. It's wide open. And here we go. The wheels are moving. The Wrexham fans, loud. Come on. It was Cleworth.
His face is on the Wrexham scoreboard.
His face is on the Wrexham scoreboard, if you'll notice down below. One of the new additions. The Wrexham fans are in full voice. Let's go. I'll pray for just one until we score it. Yellow card came out. Might have been for McCarthy for time wasting. That's what they're talking about there. Yes, it was. So Connor McCarthy picks up a yellow for the length of time there. Connor gets his face on that one, clears it away a little bit. Humphreys is there with EOC standing around. EOC able to knock it away and free it up, and it comes back, passed back to Chomp. 8 minutes until added time, and we'll probably get, what are we saying? I think at least 5. Headed out, and we'll get a throw on the right-hand side. Max has now scored the most Wrexham goals in the second quarter of the 21st century. Some FC, we're the Red Army. Thrown in. Man, it is impressive hearing Wrexham fans on blast. Cleworth with it, throw in. 30 yards out, gets it to Fletcher, chests it down, collected there, and that's now Cleworth on the right-hand side. Heavy to Cannon. Can he get it? Draws it back in, chipped back. Caleb comes out and scrambles and saves that from going for a corner. Oh. Caleb. Cleared. Down the right-hand side. EOC able to collect, settles it down. Cleworth over on the right-hand side. Doesn't have anything, so he draws it back, and we're going to spread out a little bit as Chomp thumps it down the middle of the pitch. Nobody there but red jerseys, and so it's headed forward. Can we get possession? Yes, through Cleworth again. Rotherham goes up 1-0 on Lincoln. That's going for promotion. De Gevigny with the nice tackle there, but then give it away, and we've got opportunities coming this way. O'Connor towards the area of McLean, 18-yard box, crosses on, knocked back, it's loose, and it lands on the feet of Phillips, who just pushes it forward. Sniffing around. Exeter ties Wickham, come on. We can save the day. Humphreys chasing us down. He's got an opportunity. He's got EOC. He's up against the goal line, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. Corner? I thought EOC bounced it off of Humphreys. Time to sell those horde pins. I hear you. If it wasn't just for how busy I was, I'd be doing so many other things. There you go. Chan, I want to know that too. What is Korean for shagging all the sheep? Shagging 한국말로 뭐예요? What would shagging even be in Korean? I can't even think of it. 붕붕했어? That's the slang for animals who end up doing the thing. Boom boom essa. So we're gonna get this corner from the right hand side. Taking a long time to get it in. Headed away, but it's still available for them, and Barnsley is able to collect it 21 yards out. They're going to push it over to the right-hand side. O'Keefe. Back. Phillips. Crossed in. Headed away. Find a yellow jersey, please. Mullen not able to get to it. But Varson, please. 4-3-3. Too late. In dangerous. EOC collects it. Knocks it forward. TOC dances it around one. Right-hand side. Finds Barney. He's got Cleworth. Everybody's pushing forward. Move those yellow jerseys. Move those yellow jerseys forward. Go, go, go. I think shagging would be bung bung hada, which is the term of animals doing their thing. So I think it'd be yangi da bung bung essa? Bung bung hago issa? I don't know. Yellow card for time wasting again. This time on O'Keefe. Four minutes until we get into added time. Looking for late minute magic. We got a head on it. It's going to be another throw. So EOC picks it up. Just give him the ball. Why would you throw that away? We're stalling, but we'll see what the added time is. Humphreys has the opportunity. He's able to fend off TOC. He's just going to go to the corner and try and get another throw in. They're eking off time with possession, but he squeezes through his legs, and we've got an opportunity here. What?
This guy's terrible.
Why would you give the free kick as we're blasting down the middle of the pitch with the ball, you donkey? Fletcher put towards the middle of the pitch, but it's Connell easy to collect it, gets it back to Killip, and he just thumps it down the middle of the pitch. EOC chests it down, looking. I think he slipped and didn't get it where he wanted to get it. And it's kind of mucky, messy, and we're not pushing it forward. Killip with it, 2 minutes, and he's just... Did he push that all the way out? No. TOC grabs it, pumps it forward. Mullen's offside. Unfortunately, he didn't hustle himself back a little bit. What the what? And Killip with the ball. One bounce, two bounce. Takes it back. Look at the Wrexham fans behind him. To be fair, not wasting time much on this one. High ball towards the sideline. McLean pushes it back into EOC, and EOC too strong on the header. And it's now under control with Chomp. Let's go. Right-footed. Fletcher in a battle. It's freed up. Cannon able to save it. Cleworth over on the right-hand side. Come on now. Barney. Cleworth overlaps. Doesn't get the ball back from Barney, who's now turning, spinning. Draws it over to Cleworth now. Overlaps there. Cleworth looking to serve it. 25 yards out. Left-footed into the area. Fletcher! Rathbone! On it, hit Fletcher in the foot. Ah! Scramble all over the place and just can't put it in. Oh, and I hit the pause button. What am I doing? Ref, stop play. We've got an injury to a Barnsley player and that mad scramble in the middle of the play, middle of the pitch. Fletcher just freed it up, and Barnsley players collided. It comes out to Rathbone, and he ends up having a crack at it, and he hits Fletcher's left foot. Barney. There's the collision, and it's down and it's loose, and he nutmegged on the shot.
Rathbone lit him up.
De Gevigny. Oh, he did. De Gevigny got smashed on that one.
Who would have known?
Bodferson in. 3 up front. Double Viking magic. I don't know what that looks like. Viking magic unite. That probably looked inappropriate. We're talking about shagging sheep. Vikings up front.
Here we go. Overtime goal. Here we go.
We better get like 6 minutes at least. At least. Mullen with it. Rathbone and him deliver the ball. He's 25 yards out. He curls it the other way. He's got Fletcher far post, but that doesn't get there. But it's knocked down by Cannon. Doesn't take the shot. He's into the area. Looks across it. It's up. It's going to go for a corner. No, so it gets knocked back to Barney. 7 minutes of added time. Barney taking on Cotter. There's the cross. Goes out. We're going to corner. TOC, get your ass in the corner. Get your ass over there. Move your feet, sir. Right-footed in swinger. Let's go. It's swept in far post. Mullen pushed out of the way. Fletcher's there. It comes down. Matty James not able to get it. Defers to Cannon. Cannon just puts it up in the air. It's still there. Barney puts it back in. Lots of yellow jerseys still in the box. It comes back out to Humphreys. He's just going to thump it down the pitch. Is Chomp out there? No. So it's going to go Cannon. He's just going to clear it over to the other side and just gets the throw in. I don't know why he didn't go back to Chomp on that one, but Parky's sitting there waiting. Parky's got the ball with his arms out, waiting. Referee tells Jevanier, hurry up and go get the ball. Parky's holding the ball, ready to serve it off to him. Free kick for us. Too much grabby on Mullen. And so we'll turn this up the other way. Come on now, lads. The chat has gone quiet. Everybody nervous, or I'm frozen. One of the two. I don't know. Let's hit reload just for fun. Chomp, going to take this one. Cold hero. Chomp comes forward in the 11th hour to score one. Pretends it's 7-on-7. Clueworth grabs it, and he bangs it off of Humphreys, and Humphreys is going to collect it. And he 3-on-2 break for Barnsley. Yellow jerseys screaming back. Humphreys with it into the area, goes for the cross, and it hits TOC, and it's blocked. Let's go. We got a player down in the middle of the pitch. Rathbone with it, and it's going to go to kill.
They're just flopping everywhere.
Free kick given to Barnsley, and we still got a player down. Well, Cotter's down, so we'll have some injury time here. Maybe just enough time for everybody to catch their breath. He went down at 92:30, so we should be getting at least 30 seconds more, and we'll keep counting that up. Well, they're down a man. Oh, no, they made the sub. Mark Griffith calling it a ding-dong match. I don't even know what to call this. So going to have the sub. It's going to be Georgie Gent coming in to defend. Come on, boys. Wickham back up 2-1. Into the area. Barnett grabs it, thumps it down the pitch. Fletcher there, 1-on-2. It's lined up for Donovan Pines, but Fletcher goes and flicks it on, and Bodferson now on the chase. And it goes out for a corner. Good job. Come on now, lads. TOC, get your ass over there. 3 minutes plus. We're probably at 3.5 minutes left. Chomp, come forward. TOC sets it up. Left-footed in-swinger coming. Come on, boys. Far post. Matty James is there. Heads it back into the area. It's down. McLean, it's open over. It's too far. Mullen with the opportunity there as it bounced towards him, and he couldn't get it. It is the story of the game. Wrexham's lack of quality up top. I don't know what Mullen could have done there. He was going for the opposite post. Just got too much of the ball. Punches it up over top. And did Killip just get a yellow for time wasting? You've given 3 yellow cards for time wasting here. At some point in time, you've got to add an extra whole 2 minutes, right? O'Connell steals that one. Not O'Connor. Not O'Connell. Connell steals that, kicks it out. We'll get a throw in, and this is Cleworth with it. Somebody's got to come back. No, they're going to let him advance it through a throw. Get it in play. Why are we time wasting? Hurry up. And all that to give it away. No, they eke it out. Fletcher's got it. Tries to chip it up over top. It doesn't. It bounces back and deflects to Rathbone. He gets it to O'Connell. Playing advantage. Or did he wave that off? He waved that off. Cleworth with it in the back. The press is on. Trying to find a way. We can break him down if we can get it up over top. Foul given. No yellow card for that one. That would have been a yellow and then a red. David, just kill me now. I get you. Alexander, thanks for joining. O'Connor with it. 40 yards out. 38 yards out. Going to be looking to try and get it in. No, he pitches it down the line to Barney. Here's an opportunity. We're into last-ditch efforts. Barney, cross, bangs it off of his ass. Cleworth collects it. 25 yards out, draws it in, open area here, served up, far post, looking for McLean, headed away, and nobody else over there to collect. Here comes the mass run on, well done, stolen by Rathbone to eke out an extra possession. It goes to Matty James, to Rathbone. Rathbone feeds it all the way back to Chomp. The 7 minutes is played. People are going to be yelling for the whistle, but we should be getting more time. Fletcher chests it down. Fletcher misses wide to the left. He had Bodverson up ahead of him, took the crack, and I can't begrudge him for that. He just missed the opportunity. Ugh. I've said at least 30 extra seconds, and so that's what's going to be missed. So I don't think we're going to get another chance here. Opportunity here. The ref hasn't blown it down. We've got a chance. We missed it. We've got to be able to move the ball forward. Cannon thrown to the ground. And then he gave full time. It's over. See ya, Deandra. Have yourself a good one. Not what we wanted to start the New Year's. A 1-2 loss at Oakwell. The voodoo curse continues. That's 0 wins, 4 draws, and 13 losses in 17 games that we've played in Oakwell. Deserved a better fate, but hey, that's football. Wigan probably deserved a better fate just a little while ago. So it goes the wrong way in this one. I'm going to take that off, and we can talk about this one. Brendan, tell me, what are your thoughts on the game in the second half?
Frustrating. A lot of great opportunities. I really appreciate the effort. That was the most set of chances we've had in a while. It feels like quality chances. Just didn't go in. Some great saves by them and some bad luck by us.
I do like that Jan swore in Korean, but written in Hangul. I've never done that before or seen that before. Shit. It's what that read as in Korean. And Sam's saying the same thing. I think everybody kind of has the same sense here. If you go through the chat, is exactly what you said is, John saying, I know we lost, but I feel better about that game than our other recent game. At least Birmingham drew, so there's some comfort maybe there. Wickham, though, with a late goal, sounds like they're going to probably walk away with that one. Was an opportunity, though, if you get at least a point or even better, that you would have been really putting the pressure on to Brum. Don't want to lose track of those two up top, and that's the bad thing about losing in a game like this, is that's just the outcome. That's just the reality. So can't hate the effort, and that's always the case. Maybe we were rubbing it in too hard to the Wigan fans when we were saying better team did not win. You got to put points on the board. I mean, that's it at the end of the half. It was telling that Parkey pulled Palmer at the half, and that's a message, and I don't know if that's going to have consequences. You look to last season, and I think it was the Salford game where Palmer wasn't even in the lineup, the second match, and he was losing his bit. Why does that sound like it's the right place? But he came back fiery, but he took a couple of days off. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, you ask the question, if you're looking for somebody to replace Palmer, do you bring Dalby back? Are we looking for two changes up front, somebody to take that spot and somebody to fill in on?
If you do that, what do you do with Palmer? Do you
gone.
trade him because he's not as good as Fletcher, right? And if you're going to sub, like if you bring in a number one to replace Palmer, you can't bring Palmer in mid-game. He's just not as good as Fletcher. You'd still want Fletcher in. So
Agreed.
Palmer's just useless at that point.
Agreed. I think if you bring somebody in to be on that right-hand side where Fletcher is at and where Fall is your $500,000 future, that means that Palmer's time in a red kit is over. So whether that's a transfer out to give him the opportunity to play somewhere, and that's what he wants to do, whether that's him transitioning into some sort of magic in another capacity for the club, who knows? 18-8 shots on target, fire Mullen. We can't compete with Birmingham and Wickham right now. It's the reality is when our efficiency struggles up front, we don't get there. Now this is a weird game in the sense that normally we have a pretty third overall in the league coming into this match on efficiency, and we would get limited opportunities, but we would find the back of the net. Here we had lots of chances, 18-8 the shots, and just couldn't get there. If you've got the stats up,
look at all those shots. That's
18 shots, 6 on target, 4 big chances, 3 big chances missed, 76% passing on 355. So that's well above our average, 60% possession. You talk about, can Wrexham create? We created, we just didn't finish.
Yeah. It wasn't all on crosses either.
No, it was on the deck through set pieces. I mean, open play was where we were better than our set play, but one that hit the woodwork, 5 blocked shots. I mean, compare the shots. 18 shots to 8, shots off target 7-5, shots on target 6-3, blocked shots 5-0. So I mean, that's a whole host of shots. One that hit the woodwork. 14 of those shots came from inside the freaking box.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. They played great. They just didn't get the result. I mean, this could have been a 5-goal game.
Yep. Yeah, Wimbledon would take Ollie. That's absolutely 100% true. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the January window closes. If you are up front for Wrexham, you know that the team is looking for players in your position, and you want to be able to perform to maintain your minutes and your opportunities. And I think for everybody up front, that was a step backwards. It was a step backwards for Fall because he didn't even make the squad list for the game. He was off it wasn't even a sub for Bodferson. He's gone at the end of January. He just hasn't done enough to earn a position in the contract on a go forward. Mullen had opportunities and chances and just didn't have the magic. Fletcher's safe because he comes in and is good and is amazing in his role. And Palmer probably did the most damage of anybody because we were saying before, when he's at his ceiling, he's good. When he's off his ceiling, he's not where we need him to be. And that's, Aaron, that's what we said. We need to utilize Fall more and either bring Dalby back and buy a top striker. That's what I was saying, is this is the type of game where I would have thought that Mo Fall at the end would have been a much better opportunity for Bodvarsson. And even if he didn't score it, you're developing a player that's going to be a part of the roster on a go forward basis for the next 3 games. And so that's why I was shocked that Fall wasn't in. It's because why are we giving minutes to Bodvarsson? And I guess the only counter to that, and let me know, Brennan, your thoughts, is were we doing that to be fair to Bodvarsson, to give him an opportunity to earn his spot by doing a thing?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe Fall was a little dinged up from the last game, so maybe that was why. Maybe he just
really
decided
fragile then.
to give him a shot.
If he was dinged up from the last game and whatever the minutes that he played, then he's more fragile than I want to be able to consider.
I wanted to go over. We talked about this pre-match before we got online.
Yeah.
Contracts up at the end of this season, June timeframe. Jack Marriott, James Jones, Jacob Mendy, Billy Waters, Fletcher, Anthony Ford, Mark Howard, Liam Hall, Josh Adam, Harry Ashfield, Aaron James, Caleb Edwards. Bodvarsson's gone at the end of this month. So there's decisions that need to be made.
Well, the 3 academy players, there's no decision there. You sign them and you extend them because they're not going to count on the squad list. You can play them until they're over the age or not, right? Because they're not over 22, right?
No,
they're still all young. So those ones you can take off of the list. 40 is gone. Mendy's going to be gone, but he'll play out the rest of the season. The of the list that you've provided, the only ones that are interesting to me is what do you do with the ones up front, and they're all extended, right?
Yeah, well, the Fletcher and Marriott, you have to think about what are you doing there. Obviously, those are tough decisions, and there's an outside chance you keep Howard as kind of like a player coach. I wonder if he's a morale guy in the locker room. Considering he's your third goalie, I don't think you want to put big money on anybody else if you've got a good 1 and 2, which way I think we do. So
there's some really interesting questions here that I'd like to go through on the chat. Is Travis? Let's start with this because there's a host of them. Tobias, Ken, Matt, all adding really good stuff here. Travis says maybe this increases the urgency to make a move. Can't let 4 weeks worth of games go by averaging 1 goal a game. And that's what I said, that the move has to be done, if not before the Shrewsbury game, around that time period, because that's when you've got Birmingham right after. And you don't want to go in with a team that's half cocked, right? And we're not scoring up front.
Yeah, full cock is the way to go.
Full cock is way better than half cock. So let's see if that ends up going. Don't clip that. But for Tobias, he says, isn't it a crazy thought to think that putting in Fall at the end as an extra striker, pulling a defender to try and put one in the net? Well, the question is do you think he would have been better than Bodvarsson? Because that's what Bodvarsson did. Bodvarsson came in to give us more of an opportunity up front. We had 3 attackers. We had Mullen, Fletcher, and Bodvarsson all up front doing their thing. Ken says, agree on Fall. He outscored Palmer last year in League 2. He only looks slow. Tall guys don't look like they're hustling. And I'm with you. I'm surprised by his speed. The issue, the agility stuff, the short stop and starts, he's still a little bit Bambi-ish. But I think that's young, and he's going to figure that out. But Ken then subsequently adds, this was a courtesy to Bodvarsson so he can get a contract elsewhere, which I get. But there's a legitimate question whether Bodvarsson is better than Palmer. Are you talking skill or are you talking role within the club? Because I would agree that Bodvarsson is better than Palmer as a footballer right now at this particular moment. Take a snapshot in time, but yes, not in the manner in which we play, where we need to have that big body who's going to frame things up and be able to work the ball to the right or to the left.
Do we though?
Well, I think Palmer's better than that at that than Bodvarsson.
No, but do we have to work that way?
That's what the way Parkey has his whole coaches. That's his whole. That's the core of his football DNA. And so that when we're talking about getting a big body up front, we're getting somebody who's going to basically be doing what Palmer's role is, and having somebody who's going to strike off of them. Right? That's his 9-10 combination.
I don't know. The positive is that both of our midfielders, Rathbone and Dobson were doing a lot of carrying the ball forward. Unfortunately, Rathbone just can't. Sorry, not Rathbone, but Dobson just can't
Dobson.
finish.
Yeah.
He dribbled the ball all the way up and couldn't do anything with it and missed on the header. Again, I would rather him at the back of the line and Matty James forward, but I just don't think he has the legs for it, so he has to stay back. But if we have good midfielders that can bring it forward like that, I don't think you need a stand-up guy like Palmer. This was the first time that we were not locked into only crossing the ball to get something to take place. And I wonder how much of it is I don't think it's a lack of talent in our midfield. I think it's the philosophy of holding them so far back. And like everyone seems to come down and it looks like they could go to the middle and they kick it wide and play for the cross. Yeah, well, in that scenario, maybe having Palmer's, the way to go. But if you stop doing that and stop forcing it that way and you carry it into the middle and you have a guy who can one touch and play it with his feet and turn around, you'd want Bodvarsson before you'd want Palmer to do that. So maybe it's not that hard. Maybe we're not lacking that many players. Maybe you just tell them to push forward a little bit more and you get another player out there other than Palmer. So
yeah. I just don't know what. I mean, maybe the desperation of the game modified the play a little bit. Maybe it isn't necessary, but usually when you're right, when teams break us down, it's usually because they end up controlling the midfield, and we're not able to move our guys forward, and that's why we have.
That's why I want a more dynamic midfielder.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is, do you think that from what we've seen today from our midfield having been able to do that we can, or is that just because Barnsley's weaker in the midfield and in the back line, so the opportunity was there, or they were up by 2 goals, so they were sitting back?
I thought we were just throwing more bodies at them.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think it wasn't just the 2-goal lead, because the first 15, 20 minutes of it, we were dominated right from outset.
Yeah. I think Rathbone's really come alive too. I mean, he's all over the place, but effectively all over the place. Whereas before he was a little all over the place and wasn't ever connecting with the ball and a little sporadic. But I think the backup for Lee, or the essentially Lee replacement, right? Like an upgrade at that position, and then if you're running Lee and, someone who's better than Lee up front, how many more opportunities could you create? And then at that point, you don't want Palmer there because you don't want to pass it to a guy who's so slow, to do something with it, right? You want someone more skilled.
Yeah, Aaron just saying here about Sir Alex Ferguson up in Manchester, talking about the Man U team, saying that he gave his young lad minutes. And that's, I mean, the concern for Fall is if he's not getting out there enough, you get a little bit of rot. You want to see his development happen. Obviously, he's got the skill set, right? He scored in the league below. And so give him his shot, give him his opportunities. He's got at least that and more, as it was identified by, I believe it was Ken, more goals at League Two than Palmer had. Football can be cruel. 3 out of the out of contract guys have played 0 League One minutes this year. Yeah, so they'll be toast. And Matt Al, nice to see you, Al. By the way, hope all is well and Happy New Year to you. That if we're signing someone, we need them now. And I'm with you. At least around the Shrewsbury game, right? I'd like to see a new player on the bench for Shrewsbury coming in and getting some minutes and then ready to start against Brum. That's my take, and Ken agrees with Al. I thought I heard Mark say Fall was ill, so maybe that's the reason why. And so we'll take it. I just would like to see, still like what I want to see, even if it's illness, at least it's excusable. The next 2 League One opponents gave up 40 goals in the first half of the year, followed by Port Vale. This is why I want Dalby now, to give him a chance to strut. And I guess to your point, Ken, when you were talking earlier about giving him an opportunity to bring him in for 5 games and see what he can do and whether he's going to fit in for us or go back out, I guess you can take some comfort in knowing that we're going to be playing, other than the Birmingham game, some teams that maybe in the immediate we can take care of. So do you make the phone call and recall them? And then on Bodferson versus Palmer, Bodferson has way more pace and skill with the ball at his foot, and perhaps I don't think it's the other thing is Bodferson. Well, I say this not like Palmer's a goal scorer, but Bodferson never finds the back of the net. Almost like very, very rare, even more infrequently than Palmer does. And I'm not backing that up with stats. I haven't checked it. I'm just going with my sense because that's what I recall from looking at the stats, but I don't know the specific numbers. But he is an assist guy. And so we'll see. We did put in a striker for a defender. Dobson went in for EOC. James Dobson and George are holding midfielders. And so, that's to Brendan's point about who's going to be the Lee replacement. But, tremendous effort, little reward. That happens in football. I'm hoping we're not a bunch of homers on Twitter. Like, we crushed you guys and outplayed you. You guys are garbage. I mean, it's football. We took advantage of playing poorly and eking out wins. We got Wigan that way, and now this one just didn't work out for us. Rathbone was amazing today, and in fact, I look at the man of the match. They've got Phillips, DeGevigny, and O'Keefe, 1, 2, 3, and then we go Cleworth back to them with O'Connell, Waters, and Earl, Keller, Dunn, Killip. Surprising me that the FOTMOB rating is as high as it was when we had such a high XG. I don't know how individually that ends up working so heavily in their favor. But Rathbone, surprisingly, all the way back down behind TOC and behind Cleworth. But their whole lineup is well ahead of us on things.
Keeler looks like a different level.
Yeah, and we've seen it before, right? Last season, it was Keller, Dunn, Kemp, and Barry, and they ate us up when they had their opportunities. I don't think it was, some people end up putting Jody Jones in there, people off of not the Notts County roster. I didn't think that they had that same level. He did it again today, but I was still surprised at some people saying he doesn't play well against Wrexham. Jesus, well, if that's him playing poorly, what's he doing against the other teams? For those of you that are signing off, thanks for joining us. Like button, smash that before you leave. Let everybody know that we're out there in the algorithm and that sort of thing. Another special shout out to our sponsor that made this ad free for everybody to enjoy that. That is Ultimate Promotions, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. If you're looking for the pins, you're looking for badges, you're looking for those medals. And again, they're running the special on the medals. So whether you've got a challenge race or a kids competition or some sort of a darts thing, a pub competition, maybe it's a fantasy football thing and you want to come up with some creative trophies or a creative award that you can pass off, look to them for those medals, free artwork, free shipping, 48 years of service. Check them out, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. A Dundee fan saying Dalby ran like he was towing a caravan. Dundee can have him. I get it, but is he faster than Palmer? I don't know. It's one of those things. I was so sour on Dalby because we've seen it so much. But then I also look at things and go, I remember one of those goals he scored early on in the season last year, made it out of nothing, short side, and found some magic with the feet. Was single-handedly beat like 2-3 guys and popped it in on the shorthand side and was like, damn, he's got it. He can do it. But he just never had the consistency. If he's coming in confident, maybe we get a different beast. And maybe with the struggles, that's one of the options. If we're going to sign 2, then go and get somebody like him, but they better damn well be better. And grab the position I'm more concerned about is the Marriott Mullen position. Just because I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think Mullen's it. And we don't know what we're getting back when Marriott comes back. Is he going to be the Marriott of last year where comes back from injury, he's not fully up to pace, and he's trying to find his game while important games are being played? I'd rather him come in when we're looking for something in the last.
Yeah, we don't have any games for him, trophy games to
warm it up,
loose on.
Yeah. So Des says was watching on the TV. Shame about the result, but a long way to go with some twists and turns. Yeah, thanks for joining in late, Des. I appreciate it. And hey, 3 times we go again. 3 days until we go again. Peterborough. Oof. Mad calling a 5-0 win. I hope so. Peterborough's still struggling, but God, you just never know with some of those clubs that have the pedigree as to whether they can find anything. It's kind of like playing them and Rotherham. You don't know what they could come out as world beaters one day. We'll see. Brian on the bring Dalby back. You know what? Let's put the poll out there just really quick and just see what everybody says full stop as far as do we bring him back. Let's pin this. Another thing, that Discord link is there.
Dez's best friend is Parky, I guess.
Had having drinks with him on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Do we bring Dalby back? That's it. Yes. No. Start the poll. What do you want?
How do you not talk football with him? You know, like he's got to hate that everyone wants to tell him what they should do with the lineup, right? And he's probably just like, I just want to drink my beer. Des is like, no, see, you got to change the formation. You got to, you know.
See, Ken, it's like you're my conscience, because that's exactly what I mean, not the specific connection to when Mullen and Marriott and Barney were figuring it out, but it was just 25 is still relatively young. And the fact that he's finding it in the Scottish Premiership, the fact that he's still got years until he gets to 27, when you expect him to be at his prime. He's got time there to figure it out. He just couldn't with us. He's done it now with Dundee, which is why you put players out on loan. And the fact that he's enjoying it and crushing it, yeah, you want him to do well, but at the same time, I want us to do well. And if he is the answer, then bring him back. There is Dalby getting better, Palmer getting worse. The question for me is, if we think that before Shrewsbury, we can sign somebody to take over that position for Palmer, then do it and sign it and bring their ass in right away. And if we don't, then go and get Dalby and bring him back in. And there you go with the resale value or an extendum, and away we go, right? And I hear what you're saying, Al. He can score, but he can't play in the Wrexham format. But has our format changed enough? I mean, I think we're less hoofball than we've ever been, although we certainly still have our long amount of passing. But what's the downside of bringing him back for a month? I'm going to be I'm a little naive here as far as, when you bring him back for 5, and do you send him back to Dundee after if you say no? And then what's that do with his stock? Because you're not going to be extending him. So any chance to transfer window him out by him struggling with Wrexham, if that was to happen, worst case scenario, you've lost the opportunity to bring in some revenue. At the same time, as you said earlier, we're not paying £1 million to go and bring somebody in that position. So you're doing that risk reward thing. So it's close. Like, you look at the poll, we're 47% yes, 53% no. Now we're 50-50. Like I can understand the arguments both ways. He doesn't fit Matt Al, his position. Irrespective of that, he could be the Palmer replacement. We'll see. Do we two strikers, a big and a little? 100%. I don't even know if that's is there anybody who says that we don't need two strikers? I mean, the way that I look at it, and I said this before with Brendan on a previous chat about this, is Mullen hasn't shown it. Marriott, we don't know what we've got. We're going to go through the second half of the season with one position completely devoid of a certain option. I mean, that's ugly to me. That's not what I want at all. So you've got to have one there. And then you look at the other side. Fletcher can't run full 90, and you're not running him out game after game after game. Fall isn't ready. And I don't think there's anybody that thinks that he can jump in and grab you 60, 70 minutes in every game. And Palmer is at a ceiling, and every step down gets you this result. And we're not there. So we have to go with two. Is there anybody who disagrees with that? I'd be interested to see if there is a legitimate query to that question in the chat. Then we'll do it. No change, and we start sliding down the table, and that's where I'm at. Yeah. I guess, Ken, the answer is, because I hear what you're saying, downside is minimal, upside is huge, is do you think Dalby is going to fit into the Wrexham system? Because if he doesn't, then that downside, although minimal, is it near certain? Because if it is near certain, we might as well get what we can get, right? So we'll have to see with that one. Backcountry, one striker, that mature for now, one striker young, and I'm all for that. We've got a young person on the big body side, so the Palmer, Fletcher, Fall side has to be somebody who is proven, maybe not as impressive, like not top level for that possession, but better than Palmer, right? And Fall can continue to learn and take over. And yeah, dad bod has to go. And so then we're looking for the options. There's, like I said, there's that tweet that's out there. I don't think that it'll be a loan signing. I know a lot of people have been looking around and saying that there's loan signing options that are out there. I can't see that being the route that we go, just because Parkey doesn't like his loan players. I think it's more likely to be that we're signing somebody. And I go to Rex AG Analytics, and I should get that tweet address, the at Rex G Analytics. At Rex G Analytics, and they've put, or you can go to mine and just look at my replies. I've replied to his most recent thread, who has a bunch of different options that are out there. No Dalby or Fletcher and Palmer next season. Are you certain, Des? Because what happens if Dalby comes down and he performs at a level close to what he's doing in Scotland? How do you not keep him? I don't think we're ever gonna.
Yeah, I think Des is right. I think all three guys might be gone, especially if we make it into the playoffs and go up.
Oh, if we go up, for sure. You can't go do Fletcher and Palmer next year. Well, could you do Fletcher in the championship on 20 minutes?
I think you could. I mean, if you're bringing him in for the last 10 minutes, yes. But
you just have to expect that that's the role that you're limiting him to, right?
Yeah, but that was my whole point. If you're going to bring real quality in, you still keep Fletcher over Palmer. I mean, and you just expect he's a 10-minute, 15-minute guy.
Yeah. And I hear you, Ken, but I think his market is better than that for right now. So that's the delta. How certain are you that he's not going to work out? Because if you are, then you're reducing your transfer fee from what you think you could get from him in the market now that he's running hot, down to, if he gets the knock that he just can't play in other styles, then you whatever you think you could get him for now, you've lost the delta between that and the minimum transfer fee. So I don't. Arguably, you can have Fletcher go out and start a full 90, but the reality is he's not the same when he plays the full 90.
He played half today, a full half, and they were far more threatening in the second half.
Yes, but he's got, if he's going to do a 90, it's got to be like once a month type thing and smattered around.
I agree. You can't go back to back, but still, you can get more out of them than we portray sometimes.
Take another 5-10 minutes here as we go through it. If you're over on Twitch, you're over on Twitter, you can come and join the chat, youtube.com at the Red Horde. If you're kicking about, feel free to. I'm not even, I think I'm probably leaning more towards giving Dalby a chance. I am. I'm trying to cover off both of the arguments, because if you would have talked to me a week ago, the answer would have been no freaking way. You talked to me yesterday, I'm probably like, yeah, okay, we can do it. He had a chance. He's had multiple seasons. Two Beards lining in. Dalby has said he wants to stay at Dundee. Why bring him back? Because we can. If he's the answer, that's I don't give two craps about what he wants to do. He hasn't said he doesn't want to come back. He hasn't said he's pissed off at Parkey. I get that he wants to play where he's lighting it up, but he's going to get his chance again. If he comes back and he doesn't play well, then he's out on a minimum transfer fee. So, but I take that as part of the. I think, is that more North American, Australian, non-UK perspective? Is if a player doesn't want to be with you, then stuff him, because if I get that as a contributing factor. It's worked for us though, David, hasn't it? I mean, 2 goals in the last little bit. He does find it. I get it. If you've got the opportunity to do better, then you can. But also, we're not paying the wage rate, and so if they have to find a unique solution, then you go out and you grab it, right? Because we suck at scoring. That's why.
So the thing about Fletcher, keeping Fletcher on the team, I think there's something to be said for a guy who realizes that his role is a sub, not someone who's on the sideline upset that he's not starting every game, right? He knows what he is. He knows he doesn't have the wheels to play 90 minutes every game all season. So having quality and knowing you're coming in, you're prepared for that. There's a lot to that, I think.
Yeah, I 100%, and well said, and I don't disagree. It's fascinating to me, this whole conversation and the chat that we're having after a loss, and it's been a while since we've had one of these.
Well, it's January and the window's open, right? So
yeah, I guess there's a lot to talk about and a lot of what does the team look like on a go forward. People saying
funny, and everyone played really good. Like this wasn't,
yes.
yeah, like
not everybody, not everybody, almost everybody.
Almost everybody. O'Connell made some mistakes, but
Palmer didn't play well, and that's why he was out at the half.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, Ken, you have a far rosier recollection of Sam Dalby's time in Wrexham than I do. And now, granted, maybe that's because he was competing against the Paul Mullen, who at that level was scoring lights out, right?
All of his best plays were assists, where he made a nice pass to a guy cutting.
It had that one goal in the corner, and I wish I could remember. I know they were attacking to the right, and he was on the far corner, and he beat three guys and came in and snapped one in. It was an exceptional goal early in the season. I want to think it was away as well, but was it Salford? I can't remember. Scar likely makes a difference today. The thing is I don't really hang our defenders. Like during the match, I put a little bit of blame on Tom O'Connor because in covering for EOC, who had biffed it and went down, he filled in admirably, but then didn't release out to go and get that second shooter on the second goal. And so I was a little bit critical of him, but the Kaylor Dunn goal was just, we're going to beat our guy and I'm going to fire in a bullet of a shot. Would Gonko have saved that one? I think so. And as John, I think, said during the match in the chat, it's likely that Ogonko would have stopped one of those two, but certainly not both. And is that the difference in the game? Ogonko being injured. Don't do that. Don't do that with Bickerstaff. But I get it. I'm comparing him because I can only go with what my eyes have seen. But I also attribute to the fact that people take time to build it up, right? And that's why we're not expecting Mo Fall to be lighting the world on fire, despite being a 500,000 quid signing, right? Do you think the service to our strikers is not good? Might need a winger. Well, if it's going to be a winger, it's McLean. Because how do you find somebody better than Barnett?
You can't.
I mean, it would have to be somebody. That would be a risk to bring in somebody at a level that much better than Barney.
Into the backcountry, I've been complaining for, I don't know, a month and a half now, is that almost all of our opportunities come from crosses from the wings, and that we need to be more dynamic. We're not threatening up the middle. And today was the first day that we showed consistent multiple opportunities from guys bringing it up from the middle. And again, was that just they were really hot today? Was that Barnsley not being aggressive, or was it some sort of change where they knowingly decided to push forward with Rathbone and Dobson? Because that's what we need. And maybe they're both feeling the pressure, like, hey, this is the January window. They're going to go out and get someone to be an offensive threat unless I do something. So,
yeah. Just I'm torn. Like, let's before I come back to Two Beard's comment here, just to go to Ken, I'm split 50-50. And I think, Brendan, do you lean one way or the other? Dalby back or not back?
I'm not back.
You're not back?
I mean, I don't think he's a championship player. Maybe maybe he would have been an effective player for us. Starter? Not likely. I don't know. I'm just thinking if we're going to the championship, we got to do better.
Well, you say that, but then a lot of people say, well, go to Scotland and grab somebody out of the Scottish Premier League.
Oh, I didn't say that. If Dalby's killing it up there, I'm thinking we don't need anybody from up there.
Well, there's argument to that as well, I guess. It is considered slightly a step up from League One. So you'd see, I don't know, like to Ken's comment, I'm split. Like I get the combination of factors. I get that it's actuarial. I get that it makes sense because of his age. I get that he's young and it's not a free hit, but it's a cheap hit.
I don't care about that either.
So you can take your run at it, and that all makes sense to me. This does weigh a little bit on my mind, this being Two Beards' comment that says, my point being that if he comes back when he wants to stay, then possibly his heart won't be in it. It affects his performance. Footballers are selfish, right? Everybody's selfish. Hockey players selfish, and they want to do well with their careers. He knows that if he goes back and he plays like garbage, it's going to hurt him. He's competitive. I don't see that affecting performance after a trade. Like the people that I think are those holdouts are those like rock shot superstars who can pick where they want to end up going and know they're going to get that chance. I don't see that being an issue for Dalby. And you're welcome, Chan. It was nice to have you here. And we'll see you next time as well. And Koksungri, go for that win. Absolutely. No to Dalby. Great point about up through the middle of the attack. Yeah, and it happened today, right, Brendan? Like, and for you, is that the first time that you've really seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's, if nothing else, it's proven that it's possible.
Yeah, I just think I don't know if it was. I would have been curious if next time Dez has Parky's ear, if that was a fluke. Was that the Barnsley defense allowing it to take place, or is there a conscious effort? Was he in the midfielders' ears saying, "You guys got to press forward. You can't be that far back. Like use your wheels." You'll hustle back, but you got to get forward more and give us options and give us service. So,
yeah, it's Seb is an interesting one, and I have to go back up. I must have missed a comment from players need to play. Look at Revan, hasn't started in ages, but he's lost so much speed since he's joined. And the thing about the follow-up comment that came in there from Charles is that Seb needs to play more and that he's a better offensive threat than Dobbo. The thing about Seb is, I don't know if I've seen a player in a Wrexham kit that is more one-dimensional with his, like he has no right foot at all. And so he can't go into your midfield. And so he's got to take over for McLean. I can't justify that for 90 minutes. And so as much as I want him to get his opportunities, I think he's just trapped in a logjam. But yeah, I get it. The Scottish Prem is up there, and I'm with you. All of that magic is true. And the Iwata signing for Birmingham, if nothing else, what that also tells me is part of the frustration is I do wish that Parky had enough chutzpah to go and grab an international, and not not somebody like Bodfordson who's proven himself for X number of years in League One and could slide in. Like, go and grab your Jata from Denmark or your Iwata, although Scotland, from Japan, Peck from Korea. Go and grab somebody. Donovan Pines, although didn't have himself a great game today, from Washington DC back when he was signed. I would love to see one of those. Like, the options we're looking for is who in the EFL or in the Scottish Prem can go out and fill into these roles. And does it have to be that limited?
To try to get someone surprisingly good. I look, we just got 650 mil infused into Wrexham, right? Let's cut this out. Let's stop all this. Well, why don't we try to find a diamond in the rough over here or over there. No, let's just go and make a really good offer and pay for quality proven talent that is in England and is comfortable with the area. I'd just be worried about bringing someone over from anywhere in Europe or South America and them having to deal with all the getting settled and stuff and this game style and all of that.
More a summer signing than a January.
Yeah, let's pay money for quality, proven quality. We have it. Let's stop fooling around. Now's the time.
Yeah. To David's comment, yeah, he's talking about Dundee United. And there's some magic here if you're talking about the Dalby situation is you've got Dalby who's at Dundee United. Not Dundee. I always have to say the United because they're actually in the same division. You don't know who I'm necessarily talking about. You got to go and get But they've got the connection. Fletcher can be the guide as an old KG veteran who's moved around from different clubs, right? Burnley, Wolverhampton, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke, Dundee United, and then Wrexham. So go and grab him. And maybe Fletcher can help Dalby with the readjustment. So that would be to Ken's argument that you really should be bringing him in here. And the economy right now makes the Japanese and Korean players super cheap. And Ken, you get those two sports person visa exemptions to internationals that make you go out and grab some of those players. And one of the things I was surprised about is how many quality Brazilians are in the Japanese league right now. I know what Brendan just finished saying is like, stop messing around and go and get somebody, and you got to worry about them warming up. But if you're confident that they've got the talent and you've seen enough of them, I mean, have the cojones to go and do it. You look at the Kone signing, the Richard Kone? No. Wickham Wanderers leading scorer. I mean, watching that game, he was just at another level, and he creates watching that Wickham game. And I know that we've only seen them a couple times and he didn't play in the first game, but Wickham to me is a slightly better than average club with an exceptional striker. And he makes something out of nothing and does the 3 goals that he scored, the perfect hat trick early on in the season. One of them was a penalty, but the other 2 was all him just creating out of nothing and finding stuff. And that's the sort of move that I would love to make, because that's finding
Ken's
somebody.
Stat there.
Which one's that?
Ken's bringing all the knowledge today.
Our striker budget is currently like 12th in the league. Yeah. The budget's there. The wallet is open. That's not the concern. It's just Parky making the move. And what I'm saying is I guess maybe I'm saying this. I get that Parky prefers his EFL lads and the people who don't fail the Plunker test. So go out and have a search for them, hunt them out, grab them. If that's Dalby coming back and you want to test it, sure, I'm not going to fight you on it. Do what you need to do, but go and get some bodies. But if for whatever reason you're not able to do it, then for the love of God, do something, and make a real move, not just halfway in the middle, but go and make a real move and grab some rock star that's not necessarily the EFL. And that's sort of, I guess, Aaron saying Parky's fussy, whether it's a good thing or not is yet to be seen. But players.
Sorry, I just read Mad Al's.
If we go full Brazilian, we'll be going half cocked and full cocked. Oh man, well done. I don't think grabbing a guy from the Japanese league makes sense for the second half of the season, and I get that. I'd rather sign a cheap J League player on the international squad and then loan them out. I'm for that build up, but if you can get somebody who's certain or near certain, then why not? And I'm saying that probably as the runner-up prize. Like, go and make your money, your budget, and if you can't do it,
we've
this
been
window,
talking about wanting, foreign players, but that's not good enough for what they need to do right now. Is my point. Like, that can't be the pinnacle. The pinnacle is spending legit money on a top tier championship or a guy you can pry away from a Prem team. That's what you need to do. That point blank. Your next guy ideally would be an attacking midfielder or another striker. And if one of those is foreign, and you're rolling the dice there, fine. But at least one top tier striker.
And I don't think we're limited. I know Brian isn't saying this in his comment where he says we have plenty of money, but can we find more than one good deal in on January? Take Dalby in hand and focus on one good signing. To me, that's the minimum. We need 2 up front. If Dalby's one of those 2 up front, fine. But does it open up the wallet that we can even go bigger in the midfield because we've saved the money on Dalby and we've given him a chance? Does it matter? Do we have the money to spend anyway?
How does Palmer money work? What if we trade Palmer?
Well, we don't trade. We just eat the contract. We're going to loan him out to Wimbledon is what it is until his contract. And we're going to pay a portion of a salary and if or all of it, they'll come up to their terms. There's no trade that happens in football. It's all money, cash deals, right? So
if we let him go to some team near London, we don't pay his salary anymore, right? Unless that's part of the deal.
That's part of the deal. They'll negotiate how much we retain and pay the salary, right? Sometimes, as I understand it, and I can be corrected by those that are in the know, because the loan signings, I've never really looked at those contracts because we do them so infrequently. It's never something that has had to enter into my equation. So it's something that I will admit a deficiency that I should probably address. Matt Al talking about the Necaxa potential signing. And I think that's a long-term thing down the road, is that there's a potential that there will be North and South American players that funnel through the Mexican league that could end up coming over. Although, do we argue, is Necaxa of a better quality than Wrexham? As far as play, mid-table League MX versus League One, I think now, yes. I think in the future, no. But we'll see what happens there. But yes, it's a spend now, and it's a spend big, and it's spend with an eye to the long term. But we also need whoever we're signing to be able to play now. We're not doing a Mo Fall. We're not spending $500,000, $750,000 to get a 22-year-old who we're not certain is going to be able to go. Right? You'd agree with that, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get him time, but I don't think he's the guy that's getting us over the finish line. Even if you gave him a ton of time, the rest of this season, and he's young enough where I'm willing to give him some time and some opportunities. And he starts with the club in the summer and plays a bunch, and then maybe he worms his way into some regular time. But right now, I just think you got to go. You got to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and there's Woody saying Arsenal paid more than 80% of Ogonko's salary when he was out on loan. So that's my understanding, is it's usually in that range. But I haven't looked at it. There are also informed strikers in League Two. Yes, I'd rather go 20. See, this is the weird part about it, is I want somebody certain on Palmer's side. On the Marriott Mullen side, would I be okay with a 24-year-old Prem transfer to us, transfer not loan, transfer to us, of somebody who is more likely ready to jump in than Mo Fall isn't a project, but isn't that 2 million, 3 million quid signing? Yeah, I would take that on that side, I suppose. But I'd rather do that than an informed striker in League Two, because it has to be forward looking. And to me, the League Two strikers, you've got too many questions. If Mullen up from League Two was in form and came up and can't, do we end up?
Langstaff isn't with Knots anymore, by the way.
Who's not with?
Charles just said Langstaff.
Oh, Langstaff. Yeah, no, he's down with Swansea. He moved over. Oh, no, he didn't go to Swansea. He went to, was it Preston North End?
Yeah. He's already in the Championship League.
Yeah, he's already in the Championship. I just wasn't sure if he went. Oh, Millwall. That's who went. A Prem striker, 100% proven big spend champ. Yep, I'd go for that.
I think we beat this one pretty good today.
I think so, and I think I've got to go and deal with kidlets and all that sort of stuff. Give the man of the match to Rathbone. Is that what we're doing?
I think he was the.
He was the only. He was it.
The engine today.
Yeah, he was the engine today. So we'll do that. Lancashire. Yeah. I mean, that's the buzzword, but young for me. He's if you're gonna go, if you can't get a guaranteed certain, then he's that second best option. Devontae Cole, he was third in League One in goals last year and can't get off the bench at West Brom. Yeah, I haven't done as much of my homework as I normally do because I just don't have the time to do it. And to be fair, I end up getting caught up on names that I really, really like, and then when we don't land on them, it just hurts. So I'm trying to distance myself from the garbage of not the garbage, the craziness that is the window. Thank you to everybody, the chat, the game, not the result that we wanted by any stretch of the imagination, but it was another fun one. 65 countries have joined in on this one. We will be here on Saturday. Deandra and Brendan will be here on Sunday as the girls get back at it after Britain ferries I mean, that table now is not looking good for the women after the in-hand games we're all playing. I'm just going to bring up the Adran Premier League table because we're sitting comfortably. I mean, we're not going to get relegated, but Britain Ferry ended up taking wins away from Swansea, so that's who we're chasing. And we're sitting at, like, they're Britain Ferry's at 18, Swansea's with a game in hand, Swansea's at 17, and we're sitting back in 12th. And we've got 4 games left. One of them is against Swansea, but we're in the weeds a little bit, and we're going to have to take those 2 first games because they're a little bit softer and make sure we put them away. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the first day of 2025. We will see you Saturday. Appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you to our sponsor. Thank you, W&G, for doing your thing with the scoreboard. Brendan, thank you to you for taking care of things. And I'll give the preemptive shout out to Deandra, who fills in wonderfully. It's been a great chat. It's been a fun day, even though it was a nightmarish outcome, not a frustrating outcome. They happen. We'll eat it, and we move on up the sheep shagging town. Thanks for everything. Have a good one. Goodbye.